Alrighty, we are hereby starting the Monday show on Thursday, and I want to thank everyone who is waiting tonight. Uh, that's why I set a later start time tonight, so I would have time to finish consuming dinner. But anyway, we're ready to roll, so I hope everyone is ready to rock with this late starting time. I'm gonna give it a few minutes, see if anyone wants to tune in, and then we are gonna hit up a movie review. But where do we want to begin? Well, we were going to do Imperial Japan tonight, but we're going to save that for another night because there are a few preparatory things that I want to work on, and we have a lot of cool like maps and detail stuff like that will really help to kind of immerse ourselves and explain details. It's nice to have some maps and things, just so you can kind of keep track of what military campaign, where it was happening. In particular, the island hopping campaign, in which American servicemen worked their way across the Pacific until they made it to Okinawa. And I want to say hello to Lion Ratton. Good to see you, man. Thanks for dropping in. That's a great avatar. I gotta say, the avatar looks amazing on my screen. Sometimes like you see these little tiny circles, but when you see them jumbofied, like look at that. Look how glorious that looks. It does look glorious. So anyway, to begin, we are going to talk about Koreans at war, not the Korean War, certainly not the Second Korean War. Wait, what did I say? Did I say Second Korean War? Why, yes, there was a First Korean War. Now, I guess I should preface this. I was watching a video about Robert Heinlein, the guy who wrote Starship Troopers, and you were born in Okinawa? That's cool. It is a lovely island, isn't it? And just as a side topic, I don't know if this is true, but I was reading about it, reading comments. Supposedly, like they were going to put it up for referendum or something, whether to make Okinawa a territory of the United States or keep it under, Japanese rule. And ultimately, the people living in Okinawa, as someone put it in a comment, I don't know if this is accurate. Maybe you can enlighten me. Someone in an internet comment said that the people of Okinawa would rather be under Japanese rule than be under American rule. But ultimately, I think they maybe wanted autonomy. I don't know how true that is or if that was even a factor. But yeah, anyway, lovely island. I remember the movie Jackass Part 1 or Part 2. They spent some time on Okinawa. There was a scene where, like, they were doing some, that movie was full of, people always said, like, male nudity. Okay, just, I would say watch the movie Jackass to see what I'm talking about, but you probably don't want to, if you get my drift. But anyway, let's get back on topic here. So yeah, the First Korean War. It was not at all of the same magnitude as the Second Korean War. In fact, arguably you wouldn't even really categorize this as like the first war, except that I guess chronologically, yeah, Americans participated in combat in Korea prior to the 1950s. In particular, this here is the United States expedition to Korea. Am I on mute? Dang nabbit. All right, as I was saying, what I like about this picture is okay. Well, I don't know how far I got to backtrack, but as I was saying, yeah, there were two Korean wars, although this Korean war was not of the magnitude of the one in the 1950s. So, in fairness, you wouldn't really call this the first Korean War. That's why it goes by the name United States Expedition to Korea. And you got this flag they captured from some kind of fortification on some ship. In fact, it says right here the Suyagi flag captured at Fort McNee in the attacks on the Saleh River forts, June 10th and 11th, 1871, by Corporal Charles Brown of the USS Colorado. Left. I guess the ship is to the left. Oh, no, this is the corporal. All right. Private Hugh Purvis of the USS Alaska, middle. Both were awarded the Medal of Honor. I guess that would be the Congressional Medal of Honor, or are there two Medal of Honors? Captain McLean Tilton, United States Marine Corps, commanded the Marines. Photograph was taken on the USS Colorado. Captain George H. Cooper, commanding flagship of the Rear Admiral John Rogers, commanding the U.S. Atlantic Fleet. Well, that's weird. They're definitely in the Pacific for this one. American servicemen, after capturing Fort Dokjin, Fort Monocacy on June 10th. And then we got like a little map here, map of the Ganghwa forts. So there were a number of forts in the area, I suppose. And then you got some dead here. Korean casualties after the attack on Fort Saddlemok, Fort McNee by Felice Bito. Oh, that's cool. I love that sail design and the bamboo on that Korean ship, 1871, taken by the Americans during the expedition. And then you got some people doing, naval officers, Council of War aboard the Asiatic Squadron flagship. Wait, did I say Atlantic or Asiatic earlier? Well, anyway, I digress. Off of Korea in 1871. So you get the idea. That's cool. Korean official bearing the first dispatches on board Colorado. Is he smoking tobacco or opium? Anyway, okay. And then that's the same flag, except, of course, this is your long exposure photography routine here, where you really got to stand still even in broad daylight. Although you might be able to pull off a shorter exposure in broad daylight, you still got to stand there for a few seconds, and wind is going to disrupt something like a piece of fabric over here. And so it's a good thing they got this. I wonder if the guy was using a different type of film plate, like high-speed film. My guess is the wind was just hitting this on the leeward. Is that leeward side? The rear end, so that it's inflated enough that it's not flailing in the wind, perhaps. But anyway, this is not the Korean combat we're going to talk about today. Today, we're going to talk about the movie M.y Way, directed by a gentleman named Kang Ji-gyu, and written by Kim Byung-in and Na Hyun and Kang Ji-gyu. And we got actors John Dong-son, Joe Odagari. Yes, his name is Joe, but he's very Japanese. He studied acting in California. And we got Fan Bingbing, which would normally be a racist joke, but is a real name. And she's very lovely, and she did a great job, honestly. She played a hell of a role. I'm not going to ruin too much. Actually, I might ruin the movie a little bit, but we're going to skim through the movie right now. But before we do, did I open up DaVinci Resolve yet? Let me just switch my camera angle. Let me check if I opened up DaVinci Resolve, because I do have to reopen up DaVinci. So that's because when I'm doing a movie review, I like to essentially skim through it. You know what I mean? So give that 2 seconds. And basically, I use that little DaVinci speed editor to kind of wind back and forth in the movie. Okay, good. It's loading. Hello, salty traveling sea. I've a long dong son. I've got a long dong. I've a long dong son. Went back when I served myself. Interesting. Snazzy hats, right? I know. So did I mention, was I on mute when I talked about the cardboard? Yeah, so I had a teacher. He was a historical reenactor, and he had the Civil War era uniform, which is clearly what you saw there. Now, I don't know how long they used that uniform. I mean, I know that uniform wasn't exclusively used for the American Civil War, but you see, in the old timey era, right? And that top part that kind of has that slight flattened cone, it's actually supported by a piece of cardboard. So if that hat is exposed to rainwater, the cardboard gets all kind of soft and icky, and then it collapses, and typically the cardboard will no longer retain its stiffness, or the soldier may outright remove that piece of cardboard. And so that's why uh, a more accurate historical reenactment may often show your average grunt wearing a hat that is sort of like, collapsed on the top with no supporting cardboard element. I read almost everything he managed to get published. Oh, interesting. It's amazing how yo, yeah, Highline, like, opened my eyes, or at least I like the guy's based, and he gets it. And maybe you could argue, like, debate certain things, but in general, he knows what's up. And watching the man speak at some sci-fi convention, and dealing with hecklers who were of the liberal persuasion, which is fine. It's a free country, and it was just interesting to see that interplay. And just in general, some people liked what he had to say, some people maybe didn't, but I don't know. I think he was being very realistic in his talk, in his manner of speak. What's up, Real Wade Gaming Nation clips? Real Wade Nation Gaming clips. Sinatra grew up to hate that song. Oddly enough, I think I read. Which song? Most Medal of Honor recipients are not around to enjoy the recognition. This is true. Is there a difference between a Congressional Medal of Honor, like, is there like not a plain Medal of Honor versus a congressional one? And what's up, So Cruz? Good to see you, So Cruz and Stephanie Cruz. Look at it, we got it. It kind of rhymes. It's good to see both of you. Late? You're usually late. You're usually late. No, that's my role. Oh, why? Thank you. I'm flattered. You're the second coolest YouTuber ever. Nah, jokes aside, though, Wade has a cooler avatar than I do, and probably most of you. I mean, look at that. It's a cool logo. I mean, Stephanie has a cool logo, too. I don't know. Is that Judas Priest? Is that Sting from, from Dune? No, I'm joking around, but that's a cool picture. It's very artistic. I like it. And Salty has a cool avatar, too. But it's got like a giant ice cube. But the problem with his avatar is that ice cube melts. It's going to get water in his whiskey or scotch. And so he needs to get a set of whiskey stones. That's what he needs. Hello. Hello, L. And in fact, this movie, I blame L for me watching this movie. L did not recommend the movie. Why, thank you. I appreciate that. But I appreciate you sharing, I mean. But also, this movie here was not a recommendation, but what happened was a while back when we were talking about, like, the Battle of Leyte Gulf, which at the time I wasn't even naming it correctly, but I was kind of doing a broad overview of events in the Pacific Rim during World War II, like a couple months ago at least, maybe like during the summer, maybe it was a while ago, and basically, like, I think it was during the early part where they sent UDT underwater demolition teams, frogmen, in to kind of, like, soften the ground, remove mines, disarm obstacles such as undersea mines, and setting up navigation lights, I believe, on Corregidor or some island near Corregidor. So they essentially had guys going on island, which luckily Japan didn't really have any troops on those islands at that point in time. So it's pretty easy for them to stick the navigation lights up so that the rest of the fleet can kind of find their way into the Leyte Gulf or in that overall region to kind of conduct their operation. But anyway, the movie, so what happened was, while I was talking about that topic some months ago, LCX mentioned about Korean soldiers who worked for or served the Imperial Japanese Army. And maybe some volunteered, but as I was reading into it recently, many were sort of drafted into that service. Maybe they were either living in Japan or they were living, under Japanese occupation or Japanese rule, which at one point it was legitimately, so. But in this particular movie, in fact, we're going to get into how these guys got into the war effort, because that's in the movie. The movie cover is here. Here's the Blu-ray. I physically bought it. I did not download it. and it's got a single Blu-ray disc. And as you can see, the disc in the box is Event Horizon. Oh wait, that's because it's still my drive. I should probably take it out. Event Horizon, great movie, yo. I gotta go through the deleted scenes on this and kind of like maybe do it. Oh, this is disc 2. It came with 2 discs. All right, I got the Event Horizon box. It should be here somewhere. It better be here. Anyway, we'll worry about that later. It wasn't life. It wasn't life they couldn't give up, but hope. Jung Shik Yang Dong Sung is a young Korean man who dreams of becoming the next Son Ki Shung, the Korean gold medalist marathoner. Now let's get the video thing on screen here. My way. I see. That's what we're talking about. It's labyrinth. Labyrinth. I did not get that ready yet. I barely even scratched the surface. I got to really play around with that. Yesterday, earlier today, I kind of whipped up a quick Emperor Hirohito 2-dimensional VTuber model just to see if I can kind of like make him speak. But we're going to save that for another time. And then, anyway, the other guy, the Japanese guy in this movie is Tetsuo, not Tetsuro Hoshino from Galaxy Express 39, Tetsuo. And he's one of Japan's top marathoners, runner. Sharing a strong sense of competition in childhood, Jung-shik and Tetsuo grow up to be the greatest national rivals. A year after an unexpected incident sees Jung-shik impressed into Japanese military service. Destiny reunites him with Tetsuo, now a colonel in the Japanese army. Thrown into the maelstrom of World War II, Jung-shik and Tetsuo wear the uniforms of Japan, the Soviet Union, and even Germany before finally arriving in Normandy. Yes, so this movie is based on a partially, allegedly true story that a Japanese man or a Korean man was found in a German uniform around, during the battle or, at some point during the battle or invasion of Normandy. As they survive endless, unpredictable battles, they slowly transform into each other's greatest hope. A Korean man and a Japanese man meet as enemies but become each other's hope, and a drama of true humanity that transcends borders and doctors without borders and nationality unfolds. And bonus features include behind the scenes, making of, interviews, and various movie trailers. Hey, what's up, Curtis YZ Reacts? I was thinking about some funny jokes you were cracking weeks ago. Was it you? I think it might have been you. It might have been someone else. Yeah, smash that like button. I'm with it. There's a tech tuber who is selling some stainless ones. I've given up on the ethanol. The intermediate waste product sounds awful. Lethal Company. I'll have to check that out. Sounds familiar to formaldehyde. Distracted in what way? I'm reading the box. Why, thank you. Now, this is an interesting story, not heard of before. Yeah, so essentially, like, one of the things I was learning about before watching this movie was, like, the Korean soldiers were known for being more brutal to prisoners because oftentimes they would be put in charge of prisoner of war camps. And part of that is because, shit moves downstream, right? So the Japanese commanders are not, it's not uncommon for Japanese commanders during that era to slap the shit out of their soldiers, right? Like, if you like do something wrong or if they just want to discipline you or keep you on your toes. And so, of course, those people who are, because the Koreans are subordinate to the Japanese soldiers, of course, now the Japanese soldiers slap the Koreans around and shit. And then, of course, the Koreans who are prison guards, of course, then send shit downstream and take out their frustration on prisoners. So that was apparently a thing to some extent. And let's get right to the movie here. So I'll show you what I'm talking about. So if I click here, I switch to my main monitor and we go into ultra widescreen mode. So we got this nice little bokeh here. We can see the blurry speed editor. And well, how far back do we want to go? I got to clean my glasses. So this is Japan. I believe it's Japan. Actually, I don't even know if this is Japan. I'm assuming it's Japan. But this is a wealthy guy. He's a doctor. He's got his son. That's Tetsuo. And then there's this kid, he's running, he's Korean. He's like, I'm a runner. And then he says, the Japanese dude says hi to his grandpa. Wait, is he Japanese? Not. A Korean guy sees his family. And then that Japanese guy is clearly, a well-distinguished soldier. He's the grandpa. So we're going to skip ahead a bit because there's a cool scene when he grows up. So they do a little running competition, right? So that's the beginning of their rivalry. And, they're doing their thing. Now, where things get awkward. Okay, good. We got sound. Let me just adjust my volume a little bit.
Korea's favorite son, Jun-Shik Kim, beat Tatsuo Hasegawa. And
by the way, I'm enabling the dubbed audio track for the purposes of keeping everything comprehensible. But if anybody, absolutely wants to hear the Japanese audio track, I can't provide subtitles in this operating mode right now. So we're going to not do that. But anyway, yeah, so they're running. The Korean guy wins.
Won this race here today.
But it gets ridiculous.
It's a glorious day for the Korean people.
In fact, nothing bad happens. He wins. He brings great pride to the Koreans. They love the shit out of him.
Congratulations.
Tatsuo Hasegawa, the star.
Okay, Tatsuo does well too. So they're pretty much having that rivalry, but things get ridiculous. So they get into this race and they have a deal where, like, pretty much Tetsuo... Oh, this is even better. Okay, forget about the race. This is cool. Let's get to the scene where he gets the gift. Okay, so the grandpa gets the gift. And I just lost sound.
It's a gift from the Japanese
there we
Minister
go.
of Defense.
So he's got a gift from the Korean... I guess he's Korean. Has a... Yeah, see, clearly I only watched this movie once. Oftentimes I need to watch a movie, like, twice to really remember details. But anyway, so he's getting a gift from a Japanese Minister of Defense. If anybody knows his uniform, maybe you could tell me.
Open it up.
Yes, sir.
So he's going to let his grandson open up the package. He gets a lovely gift. A lovely gift. I should really get the YouTube studio on my screen to make sure I'm not getting copyright issues here. Let me just put that on my screen real quick. You know it, L. It's an anime dub. All right, let me see here. Where'd I put this thing? I gotta get these things organized real quick. Okay, we're gonna put this over here. We'll put that over here, and yeah, seriously, the voiceovers are like that. And y'all, let me know if I gotta make the sound louder. I put the sound on low a bit. Look at that. He's got a lovely gift. Look at that. I actually want to build one of these days. I would love to have a kabuki doll. It's not called kabuki. I'm sorry, I got that term stuck in my head. I'm not trying to be racist. I'm not being racist. But seriously, I keep calling them kabuki. They're called something else, like shungoku or something like that. But don't quote me on it. But it reminds me of one of those so-called kabuki theater dolls, which is not the correct term once again. So I think he either between the text or the design of the doll. Grandpa's like, wait a second.
Give me that! Get away! Get away!
All right, so that happens, right? So obviously tensions are not so good, right? Okay, we're gonna fast forward. Daddy gets arrested. The doctor gets arrested. He gets beaten up, and then he has to take his dad out of the prison. So he's giving his dad a piggyback ride, and there's like this wave of nationalism.
For all the people of Korea, a day of rejoicing! Kijoson!
The voices just sound off, just like an anime dub, which is exactly why Elle's point is poignant. What happens if they didn't see the bow? Which bow? Was the bow the part of the thing that makes it go boom? Is that how that works? I love it. Rumble's trying to have $0 made by them because, I should actually go and watch the Rumble video, make sure nobody's in the chat. I don't want to, ignore my viewership on Rumble. That just wouldn't be right. Now, if I only knew how to navigate Rumble. There we go. I got 2 people watching on Rumble. Hey, what's up there? I see you, Ransom. You know how many times, Ransom, I neglect to see your chats on Rumble. So I want to thank you for tuning in. And I'm glad that I actually opened up the Rumble chat to see what somebody's saying on Rumble. That means a lot. I'm glad. Godzilla Minus One is a World War II recovery movie You could take Godzilla out of the movie, and it's still a great movie. Just saying. Ooh, I love it. No, I don't doubt it. I've heard good things about it, and I love a good Godzilla movie, you know? And I still got to work my way through the remainder of the Showa era and the Heisei era. Okay, so let's see if we get this video box back on screen here. A lovely gift. Ain't that the truth? Ultra realistic Funko Pop. Oh, yeah, emphasis on the pop. Dang, that Funko popped. Oh my god. I was about to make a... I can't say that word out loud. Bow like bow down. Is multi-streaming on Rumble easy? I don't think it's difficult. So apparently, the issue I have is that at the beginning of a stream, I have to copy and paste the stream key before the stream. And when I'm scheduling it, it's not terribly difficult, but it's annoying. But I'm used to it now, so I do it. However, apparently I can indeed set up a permanent stream key. So I'm planning on doing that really soon because that would make it a lot easier to get up and running. And then if I did that, if I had a permanent stream key, then in theory, it should be just as seamless as it presently is for me to stream to YouTube and Rumble. And what up, Lion Rat? And thanks for tuning in on Rumble as well. Well, perhaps human aggression is that predictable. Interesting. Meh. Oh, you know, you got like honestly, like Rumble is not the worst one. Like I remember, I'm not even gonna name the other site. Like I remember they had like all of them, right? They had BitChute, Odyssey, and Odyssey was kind of like the popular one for a while, but Rumble ended up being the more popular alternative or new tech, as people like to try to rebrand those terms. I know some people get a lot of viewers on Rumble because their content gets so ratioed, censored, or otherwise suppressed. Yeah, Lexus. Oh, the stream key thing? Yeah. I'm going to try it out at some point. I'm going to just go ahead. Basically, the gist of it, when you set up a stream, I mean, I can show you sometime, but yeah. If your friend Lexus knows, then you'll know. Is OBS too terrible to figure out? That's a whole other rabbit hole. I don't think so. I think that the trick with OBS is keep it simple, start simple. You know, I just have like a lot of stuff in my OBS config because oh, that's cool. Yeah, I've been I should do that. I should name my chat assistant. I've been using as a side topic here. I've been using basically ChatGPT amongst other things to do video encoding for my black and white handheld computer. So for example, if we do what was the name of the script here? If I type in this command, it opens up this Python app, and this is the broken version. Actually, this is the simple version. And then I pick something, and then I tell it what resolution I want, and it automatically fills in the vertical resolution. I do like 5. Typically, I would have more increments in here. You add it to a queue, and it runs the encoding job. And then you can even edit the command here, because whenever I add subtitles to this crap, half the time the AI breaks it. And it's really, really freaking annoying, because like you'll tell it not to change certain things, and it's like apparently got to give it very specific directions. Don't even get me started. Then today I asked ChatGPT to generate like a user manual for my own server, just like documentation that has key info. And it goes, okay, would you like me to send that to you or make it available for download? I'm like, yeah, you know what? Make it available for download. Because I'm thinking, oh, I'll just have to copy and paste it into a Word document. So I say to ChatGPT, yeah, give me a download. I click the link, nothing happens. Gives me an error message. So then ChatGPT is all like, oh, well, I can't do that. Oh, I'll put it on Dropbox for you. Or didn't use Dropbox, it used some generic site. So then it gives me a link that says download your document. It brings me to some generic Dropbox-like site, except that there's no file there. It just has a button that says sign up and upload your crap. So then I say to ChatGPT, hey, buddy, look what you gave me. And ChatGPT is like, oh, yeah, my bad. I can't actually do that. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, why can't the stupid thing just tell you I can't do that? It's just so absurd, you know? So, I'm not saying that's a minor thing. Like, it outweighs the negative, the positives outweigh the negatives. I just think it's absolutely hilarious. Yeah, so in brief, real quick, I originally was using a BAT script or a CMD script, but when you start adding certain advanced functions, or you start really over fancying it, what happens is when it gets too fancy, it breaks down more readily or things get a little weird. Like for example, ChatGPT, all of the AI tools, they'll readily give you a script in Bash, which is like basically Bash is, the Linux shell. And then you just tell it, give me the Windows BAT version, and then you're good to go. But ultimately, the Python script is a lot more flexible, a lot more resilient, doesn't break down as readily. What I think I really need to do is kind of like keep it simple and then like manage the script myself. So maybe like kind of piece it together myself, but ask for help on very specific details. So fundamentally, I needed a ffmpeg command that would let me type in ffmpeg followed by the name of the file I want to convert, along with some parameters like what resolution I want, what ridiculously low frame rate, what video codec, which has to be a very particular video codec for that old device, the one with the black and white screen. And when I did that, it worked out great, but then I was still having to manually plug in new numbers whenever I wanted to change something. So I was like, okay, wouldn't it be cool if I had a way to do it where it would prompt me to type in those resolutions or give me a list of selections from 1 through 10? And that was pretty cool. But then I was like, oh, I want a graphical interface. And it worked out pretty well, but that seems to break down more readily. So yeah, I got to figure something out. I got to work on that, or actually put my own work into it, something. But that's a whole other topic. Let's briefly revisit the chat and get back to the movie. Right? Ain't it helpful? Common sense will not be tolerated with AI. Seriously. You're not wrong. So I even like consulted like Grok. I was like, yo, what's this shit about? And Grok is like basically, confirming what I already knew. The AI tools, they like to maintain a somewhat fresh experience even between messages. So yeah, in the same conversation, in theory, it is able to remember enough detail, especially if you specifically instruct it to remember something. But if you don't specifically instruct it to remember something, you might say to it, for example, okay, adding subtitles to this conversion app has broken the script. So you'll say to it, roll back to the version that last worked when I said this, something like that. And it'll go, okay, I'll roll back to the earlier version of the script. It literally says that. And then it starts generating the code. Like, and it takes a minute. Like, it's like sitting there, like doing line by line. And that's cool and everything. But it's like, dude, you're wasting electricity. You're wasting computational resources by regenerating the code. All it had to do was effing scroll up and copy and paste the block of text that it already gave me. And then it wouldn't need to sit there to regenerate the code. And the problem is that every time it regenerates the code, there's no guarantee it's going to spit out the same exact thing as before. So if you don't know what you're doing, or if you like to avoid coding like I do, it's just like, yeah, it just kind of like is not helpful, because my attitude is like, this already worked. Let's use what worked, like verbatim, and then build upon that. And instead, it sort of uses it as an example to redo the whole effing thing, and then that doesn't seem helpful, right? So maybe I have to learn how to talk to it better. Maybe I have to like give it, like, maybe there's like key phrases you can give the AI tool to like properly, do the things in the way that I'm trying to get it to do them. Skynet is learning, barely. We are not in danger here, let me tell you. I wonder if ChatGPT knows who the current president is. I believe that the other day Grok referred to President Trump as the former president, which granted it was quoting him when he was still, running for office. So in fairness, he would have been former president then. But like, yeah, good example of its stupidity or inability to legitimately think. It is not thinking. That's the key. Break like the winder. The wind. Farts always funny, especially imaginary ones. I can fart. Wait, no, I might crap myself. Hey, what's up, Lorenzo Sleestack and the fine members of the chat? Oh, that's flattering. Even Chaos. Hello, Chaos for You 728. I look forward to tuning into Chaos for You 728 tonight, because I'm sure he's going to be questing or hunting for ghosts or busting ghosts. And as the guy who sings the Ghostbusters song says, you fill in the blank. Tell it to act as a senior programmer. Then tell it to ask you questions as it goes along with your specific instructions. All right. I'll give it a shot. I'll absolutely give it a shot. Hey, Lorenzo. So let's roll right through this. I'm going to try to not take too long to go through the whole movie. If anything, we'll skip enough of the movie that you guys have a reason to watch the movie. I saw a Komodo dragon eat a kid. Jesus. Oh. A baby goat. Is that true? That is the right term. And then what do they call it when they're screaming? Murdering or some crazy shit like that? Bleeding. When a goat screams, they call it bleeding. It was quite brutal. How big is a baby goat? Like the size of a puppy? Poor thing, bleeding in its stomach. Oh, God. That is absolutely frightening and awful and probably approximately equally as bad as the war that we're about to go and review right now. So let's get back to it. Yikes. No, I'm kidding. Thanks, James. That was funny. Well, maybe not funny. Funny is not the word. You know what I mean. All right, I'm gonna dig myself out of this hole. So okay, we're gonna jump ahead. Now he's a what's the word for these things?
Sandbags. It's gotta be heavy. So, you a marathon runner?
I'm hardcore, by the way. I watched this in Japanese or Korean. I think it was in Korean with English subtitles.
Marathon runner?
Korea's luck in the
I don't think I could take the movie seriously if I watched it
marathon stops with Kijun
like
Sean.
this.
You can mark my words. Printed in all of your papers, a Korean man will never be
Godzilla is going to attack. Like when they talk,
an
their mouth
Olympic
keeps
victor
moving.
again.
All right, so what is that word? I forgot the name of these things. They mentioned it. Rickshaw. He's a rickshaw driver, so
Your
he's gonna
victory in the tryouts is
this guy's running late, so he's got to get there on time. So the lesson is he's a really good runner. And he gets there on time, he gets an extra tip. He gets paid like more than double. And the guy's like, oh, double would have been enough. Then Tatsuro is telling his parents, like, I want to do the war because grandpa was murdered by those evil Koreans. And he's like, the dad's like, no, man, you should go to school. And he's like, ah. And then this is the Korean guy.
Day, why would someone steal a
And Jong
picture
Dae,
of
that
all
guy's
things?
great. His
It should be
character
around
gets
here
better.
somewhere. Look.
Anyway, I hope you can enter the tryouts.
And he's got this beautiful girl. He's going to basically propose to her, but not propose to her. He's going to give her a gift. And he's so shy. And he's like, oh, you took my gift. Wait, let's freeze on that. We can make gifts out of these. No, okay, he's a good actor though. I don't want to mock him. And she's beautiful. And then he's doing something. Oh yeah. And he gets a business guy, and he's saying, hey buddy, you got an envelope. You're gonna be in the Olympics. And then they're gonna play triumphant music.
Please win. And bring hope to Korea again.
God, his dub is killing me.
Into the race.
Yatta!
The man in front of Jun Shik is Ki Jung Sean, which means you must be holding the Olympic tryouts entry form. Am I right? If I'm right, hold it up high. Yeah! Yes! Yeah! Sir!
So, I don't know. I wish I knew. Are they in Korea or are they in Japan? I honestly don't know. If anybody knows, let me know.
Come on! Yes!
Oh my god.
Careful!
That's awful. The dad was just injured from being beaten the shit out of, and now he's being dragged
Everyone!
around.
Korea's best marathoner, Jun Shik Kim! Will
Wait,
run the
I'm so confused here. I definitely gotta watch this movie a second time so I can
marathon
figure out who's
again!
who. And then you got I guess a police force of some kind there, comprised of Koreans. So let's keep going here. Okay, so they have a race. And they're chasing the car. Now, there's a special plan. Tatsuro has a responsibility to do something nasty. And I think he already did it. I think Tatsuro already tripped. Wait, did he do it yet? At some point, Tatsuro trips over Kim. And we're just going to skim right through that. Oh, wait, there he is. Wait, he trips over here, right? Did I miss it? I mean, it doesn't really matter. Just take my word for it. He trips the guy over because he's a dick. Or because he was told to do it, and he didn't really want to do it, but he did it. Yeah, there it is. Okay, so trying to get an unfair advantage because, who's judging the race? Japan in this context, Imperial Japan. So, you know, they're not gonna disqualify that. And I think even he feels like a scumbag for doing that. He wins the race, and his best friend is like, "Yeah," but things get ridiculous. Let's go right to the fun part. Somebody whispers into the Olympic guy's ear.
I knew it. I knew you could.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Wait, I want to look at the guy's face because is he Korean or Japanese? Well, either way, he don't look happy to read that.
The results of today's marathon will now be announced at this time. The winner of the All Japan Olympic Marathon Tryouts is Tatsuo Hasegawa!
See, everyone's
Second is number
pissed.
13, Ando.
Even the Japanese parents are like, what the F?
What do you say? Junshik Kim was first! Kim Junshik! Kim Junshik!
And then the guys are all like, all of the contestants, please step up. And it's like just really awkward. The chickens. Funny, also a slice of life detail. Absolutely. How do I put up with making fun of my local buffoon who thinks destroying his life is funny? Huh? That's got to be interesting. Why do I put up with making fun of? Why not put up with making fun of that local buffoon? Seen that video of a horse eating some chicks on purpose. Yikes. Well, chicks are tiny. Go for goal. He just said Korea. Oh, okay. Well, but was it the Korean race or... I guess it's occupied, not occupied, but Korea under Japanese rule at the time. Is this going to turn into some kung fu movie? Absolutely. Actually, let's go to that part. You know what? It is Japan. Thank you. I wasn't sure if like it was Korea and the Japanese signage was just there because Japan is like trying to make everyone speak Japanese. But yeah, if it was Korea, you'd have a lot of circles in there. Okay, trust me, I know Korean has a lot of circles in that, you know, in their pictograms or whatever you call it. That's true. Like I said, I thought maybe they were just hanging Japanese signage in Korea. But I suspect that that's actually a pretty good indication that they are indeed in Japan. What? I noticed the rising sun flag alongside the modern Japanese flag. Yeah, dude. Like that. I think they still use the rising sun flag on their naval stuff. That's still the naval flag, which is cool. I have no problem with it. I like it. I think it's cool. I mean, yeah, I get it. Some people get uptight about it. But hey, you know, at least, you know, we're good friends with Japan now. Everything's cool. Everything's working pretty we're copacetic with them. We get good entertainment from them. They get, you know, some muscle from us, and they kind of act like it's a buffer between us and China. There is a thing where one woman whacked another woman in the head with a track baton recently. So busted, even by a lip reader. Whew. Just imagine Gator. Hey, guys. But he goes out of his way to make himself a massive fool. Oh, my God. Okay, because Gator, I mean, you know, he's a character. But, oh, my God, a real-life Gator, that sounds absolutely frightening. In what time period? This is going to be about pre-war, well, before the entry of the United States into the Pacific War. And pretty much by the time these guys are in the war, it's well into World War II. So I don't know if this takes place before or after, say, Pearl Harbor. But it's pretty much at this point, we are already like right at the period of time. So maybe late 30s. So approximately, in fact, whatever Olympic race that was, we can like literally look it up and it would tell us the date. But basically late 1930s, early 1940s. So probably very late 30s if I had to guess, because you know, at this point, you know, Japan already has been spending some years doing their thing in the East, especially between Manchuria and, you know, places that eventually they would have to take over for oil and stuff. Hello, Amber. It's good to see you. Awesome One says Amber. Awesome One, howdy. Right. So anyway, let's get right back to the movie. We're going to skim right through this at warp sonic speed. So anyway, what do you think happens after this, huh? What do you think happens? He gets all pissed off. He's like, what the Walter T. Fox try, right? So he grabs the guy. And you know that's not going to end well. And then he beats the shit out of each other, and his friend comes in, and then next thing you know, soccer riot. So anyway, what do you think happens as a result? I'll show you what happens.
We'll become Imperial soldiers and
There you go. That's the sentence. You will become Imperial soldiers.
swear allegiance to the Emperor.
Uh-oh. Is my stream disrupted? Okay, good. It's not. I better make sure I can see the screen down here. Make sure I can monitor the economy.
Emperor, this court is adjourned.
So there's the answer. They're gonna join the war effort, and they're gonna get the. They're being given the great honor of serving the Emperor. It looks kind of like the Galaxy Express, but it's not. Look, a coal tender. And I wonder if that's extra water in those tanks over there. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I'll just keep going.
Soldiers must always improve their battle
I
skills.
still can't believe any.
Soldiers must always improve their battle skills.
Soldiers must serve with utmost loyalty.
Soldiers must serve.
You get the idea. Oh, good. Battle, battle. Yeah, baby, battle. This is going to be fun. You're going to love this. Really good choreography, and they use a lot of practical effects in this.
Take them down, soldiers!
I saw a deleted scene where tanks were coming over a hill, and they only had 2 little blue screens or blue mats in the background, I guess to help make it look like there were multiple tanks in the distance, but then they switched it out for like real tanks. So, you know, pretty cool stuff. Ooh, yeah, gritty, right? America kind of forced Japan's hand oil embargo. Oh yeah, I'm not. Don't worry, we're gonna have a guest on. We're gonna talk about that. And look, I mean, like I can see it both ways. You know, I can totally see it both ways. You know, like why should we have to sell them oil, right? If like why should you be required to sell anything to any customer? You could argue that you have a right to fire a customer, but on the other hand, could there be anything better? Now, in my opinion, I would say the issue is that Japan effectively experienced a series of coups or assassinations that led to a coup, a militarist coup. So their government essentially was under the stranglehold of the militarist, so to speak. And what that implies is that if anybody in the civilian government opposed what they were doing, they could see consequences. You know, they can get assassinated, arrested, or otherwise. And so it was one of these things that, like, it was kind of necessary to, like, bring them to their knees, defeat them in combat so that the people see the light of day, you know, have their come to Jesus moment, so to speak, and comprehend that, yeah, this is not working. Because unless you can get rid of that militarist government or the chokehold of that militarist government and particular officials in there, it was just a very tricky proposition, in my opinion. But maybe the person I'm going to have in the next couple of weeks will be able to elucidate a little bit better. And they definitely have, you know, a pretty good, like, yeah, they definitely would agree, I think, you know, with James's angle on that. Because, I mean, it's the truth. It is true what James is saying. They have to watch Naruto nonstop for punishment. That is punishment. That is brutal. That is fucking brutal. And you have to watch the filler episodes twice. Am I right? Now that's a punishment. Lowell, I just had an evil genocidal plan. God, golly. We used to do this for some crimes, put criminals into the military. It's a double-edged sword. In fact, one of the funny things is during like the Battle of Saipan, they found, or Iwo Jima, they found notes letters that were written by Japanese soldiers, and they were under the impression, some of these soldiers, at least one of them was under the impression that our Marines were comprised of people that were unleashed from our mental institutions and our prisons. And so they were definitely afraid of like getting captured by us, like more so than we would be afraid of being captured by them. Although the reality is, you know, one of the things I like is that when people started being captured and surrendering, they realized, like, you know, unless it was in a situation where you had, you know, sometimes you take a prisoner in war and you have to shoot them because, you know, you can't take the prisoner, you got nowhere to put them, you know, it's just too risky, so you just shoot them anyway. But in situations where, you know, the island was taken and it was now possible to maintain a POW camp, yeah, like Japanese prisoners expecting the worst ended up getting like really good treatment, and they're like, holy crap, they just had a doctor look at my wounds and they checked me out tenderly, and then they gave me a hot meal and a shower. And like there's parts in like Iwo Jima and Okinawa where even after the war is over, they're sending people up to the caves to retrieve people. And like, you're some guy who's been in the cave for weeks, or you're a family who's been in the cave for weeks, months, and a Japanese guy shows up in clean fatigues saying, yo, it's over. Come out. Like, let's get some food, And it's like, shit like that. So that's kind of cool. What is the name of this movie? The movie is named My Way. You can have it your way. Just like Burger King. Have it your way. Okay, that's corny. I can't even see. Is my camera showing that? Okay, there it is. I couldn't see the right screen. See? And you can see he's even wearing like a Yahtzee helmet, I think. I think it's a Yahtzee helmet. Dirty Dozen. Clean Dozen. Hey, what up, Blight Wave? Good to see you, buddy. Thanks for dropping by. That's a cool logo, too. I was talking about Real Wade Nation's logo before. Horses and tanks and machine guns. Madness. Light cavalry. Seems pretty heavy to me. No, I'm kidding. That does look like a light cavalry. A little bit of that. I'd say gunboat diplomacy predates a little bit, but interestingly, we talked about at the very beginning of this stream, the expeditionary campaign in Korea, and that one might be considered gunboat diplomacy. Look at that cool picture. They captured some like flag or some crap like that. They're on the USS Colorado here in 1871, which is why you're seeing them wear essentially Civil War style uniforms. Now, if anyone can tell me why these guys are wearing these puffy sashes, like, are these life belts? Are these to like make you float in the water? Because nobody knows how to swim. Like, how many people in the army who didn't know how to swim in before World War II? Hey, welcome back, Slim. We're gonna jump right back into the war movie right now. Gotta run. I gotta DM me back. I gotta DM you back. I know. I'm sorry. And yes, we will set a date and time for part 2, and we're gonna have fun. We're gonna talk about space or something else or both. Or either way, you guys should check it out too. Thank you very much, Amber. I appreciate you dropping by, and I would certainly reply to you in a very timely manner. I love BK Borgars. I had Wendy's yesterday. Did I have Wendy's in your country, El? But Burger King is worth it. Like, you don't really need Wendy's if you have a Burger King, right? Those are giant donuts. Wait, they have donuts where? Oh! Thank you. That makes sense. Because you need a lot of calories when you're going into battle. That makes a lot of sense. Supposedly, there was one Japanese soldier who did not get the news that World War II, and there's more than one. That's a hilarious thing. There was like a few of them. Like, there was like a group of guys in Corregidor, or maybe some island like in southern Philippines. I mean, I'm making up shit. Don't quote me on this. But somewhere in some island in the Philippines, there was like multiple guys. And then by the time they were done, like, getting into skirmishes with the villagers who kept trying to tell them the war's over, and they just weren't buying it. Like, so they kept like picking them off. And eventually there was only one guy left. And by then they send like, an American guy and a Japanese guy there, or a group to like basically tell him it's over. Then there was like a couple of instances, at least a couple more on these other islands where like, whether it be Saipan, because they remember like Japan still had people on the islands like east of Japan to the right, if we're looking at a map, to the right of Saipan, to the right, that's Mariana Islands. They had people on those islands, but they were cut off, right? The Navy couldn't pick them up. They had no support. They were kind of on their own, and it wasn't like they couldn't really do anything strategically in terms of the overall war effort. So they were able to kind of almost be left alone until the war was over, and they could hide, do whatever they're doing. And they had to a couple of times bring, like, at least one time I'm aware of, they had to get the guy's commander out of retirement, send him to the island to tell the guy to issue the surrender order. Like, yes, sir, the war's over. I just got dragged out of retirement. I now order you to surrender. Like, that's just hilarious. Red Ribbon Army has those sashes too. Oh, I have to look that up. I worked Burger King. The nightmares. No more Whoppers. Wake me up in a cold sweat. Oh my God, it does sound scary to think about. Actually, he survived and got back to Japan. Yeah, no, I think so too. He's probably D.E. dead. Dead. The guys on the screen are wearing Klingon sashes. Kapla! I'm guessing it's a ceremonial garb. Yeah, why And the details of that, I don't know. Hiro Onada. No, you hear this. There's Hiro Onada. No relation to Hiro Yui. Yes, I'm over 18. Look at that. He's got the proper uniform on. They got like, what is that? Wait, is this the Philippines? That's the Philippines. Yeah. That guy totally looks like a Filipino guy. Like a commander. Oh man, this sucks. I freaking hate when Reddit does that. Give me a sec. Let me download this picture properly because for some reason Reddit likes to do this. Hiro Onada. Want to make sure I save this picture in a folder where it can't be lost. World War II pics. And I have a picture of MacArthur that I need to take out of here too. MacArthur and Emperor Hirohito. Okay, there we go. There we go. I zoomed in on it now. Now I can show you the Picture. Okay. There he is. That's Hiro Onada. And you can see, like, I don't know, is that an American guy? I want to say this guy from the Filipino army, like the regular army. That looks like a Japanese guy, possibly the guy who they had to pull out of retirement. And I believe he, like, joined the super far right movement or something like that. He's like a leader in the Japanese, like, family party or whatever they call it. Onada and his fellow soldiers continue to carry out guerrilla activities. Okay, I'm sorry, I think about gorillas, like, you know, the ape. Killing livestock and up to 30 Filipino. Okay, killing livestock is kind of funny. Killing up to 30 Filipino civilians, not funny. During their time in hiding, frequently engaging in firefights with local police. Talking to Mangyan tribesmen, I was quite surprised that they had two families that had Japanese names. Well, story goes that their grandfather was a Japanese straggler who died in the 1980s. Totally likely, I guess, right? That's reasonable. But, oh yeah, let's read the article about Hiro Onada. There's his hat. And let's see here. Time in hiding. Okay, I want to see the terms. Suzuki returned to Japan. Wait, who's Suzuki? With photographs of Onada as proof of their encounter, after which the government located Taniguchi, who had become a bookseller following the war. Taniguchi flew to Lubang with Suzuki on March 9th and met with Onada in the jungle and issued him the following orders. In accordance with the Imperial Command, the 14th Area Army has ceased all combat activity. In accordance with the Military Headquarters Command Number A-2003, the Special Squadron in the Chief of Staff's headquarters is relieved of all military duties. 3. Units and individuals under the command of the Special Squadron are to cease military activities and operations immediately and place themselves under the command of the nearest superior officer. When no officer can be found, they are to communicate with the American or Philippine forces and follow their directives. Onada was thus relieved of duty get it? He was relieved of duty. Okay, I'm sorry. And surrendered to Philippine forces at Lubang Radar Base on March 11th. Oh, they're writing the dates backwards. On 11 March. That's backwards. A formal surrender ceremony was, I know the rest of the world thinks we're backwards, was held by Philippine President Fernando Marcos at Malakaling Palace in Manila. Did Grok generate the picture? Okay, wait, I gotta find this. I just remembered something. Speaking of Manila, I asked Grok to generate a corny-ass picture. Okay, this did not come out the way I wanted it. I asked Grok to generate a picture of a city skyline where the buildings would look like manila envelopes. Because my intent was to like flash it on screen as an example of Manila City. And instead, I get this garbage. Clearly, the buildings do not look like manila envelopes, do they? They look like floating manila envelopes that were thrown out of a window in Brooklyn. Or maybe one of those cities in New Jersey that are next to New York. But these are not manila envelopes. Those are not manila envelopes. None of these look like manila envelopes. That's it. Now we got to fix this. I want the buildings themselves to be made of manila envelopes. See how this goes. Old soldier. So, did we win? If they'll make you surrender, yes. Daughter, no, but we got Hatsune Miku now. Japanese guy's granddaughter comes to get him. Grandpa, let's go home. Ah, okay, I read this backwards. So, did we win? No, but we got Hatsune Miku now. Could easily make an anime movie with that story, right? Last person on Earth to learn World War II is over. I feel like the guy might have been a little thick-headed about it. You know, he might have known. I think he might have just been a really thick-headed. Yeah, okay, I'll have to work on this on my own time, but I was kind of hoping that we get, like, literal envelopes as a skyline, you know what I mean? Like, that's what I want. Oh, here we are. We're getting there. There we go. That's kind of like what I might imagine Manila City to look like. And I know Manila has 2 L's in it, I think, right? Doesn't it? And Manila envelopes are 1 L, if I remember correctly. But I digress. Thunder Road or some such. Mung. Oh, the Mung. Just say Mung. Oh, yeah, I know about the Mung. I saw the movie Gran Torino. So I know. I'm an expert on that. Okay, I'm not really an expert on that, I'm lying. Involved time travel. Ooh, like the Philadelphia experiment. An old American soldier and a Japanese soldier keep fighting guerrilla style long after the war is over. Wait. Thunder Road? Cool. Folders. What did I say? Oh, okay. I'll work on that later. Thanks, James. That makes sense. I still think Grok is going to get it wrong, but I'll give it a shot. Both countries make moves to recover them. Yup. Manila folders. Okay. No, seriously, though, I'll give it a shot. I'm not going to give it a shot right now. We're not here to... I mean, I would, but, you know, I'll be sitting here for like an hour doing, like, AI prompts. I heard Michael Jackson filmed The Thriller in Manila. I believe it. Movie ends with a knife fight between them, with both men smiling like old friends. Wow, that's nice. That's actually kind of what happens in this movie here. I'm going to tell you, Gran Torino has the absolutely best line Clint ever said, and I'm not going to repeat that line right now. No, I made up that story. I mean, it may be, you know what's interesting though? Apparently Clint Eastwood was involved in the direction of Flags of Our Fathers and Flags of Our Fathers and Letters from Iwo Jima. And those are 2 movies that I absolutely want to see. Okay, so let's roll. So the light cavalry, I believe James or Slim pointed out. And I believe they're fighting Ruskies. So this is cool.
Everyone retreat!
So bear in mind that guy is telling everyone to retreat. That commander there is like waving his command sword. And this matters because, like, remember, they're not supposed to surrender, really. But he's right. He's right. There's like this whole die in battle routine is like a great way to weaken your battle. What do you call it? To deplete your resources, I guess. Your human resources. Oh, I was watching the making of the movie. And this scene is hilarious. When you watch the guys on fire during the making of the movie, that shit is hilarious because you know they're not really on fire, and it looks like they're on fire, but they're like, you know, they're wearing like that protective gelatinous stuff that makes it safe to be on fire. And then there's people holding fire extinguishers. In fact, hold on, maybe I could see it. I think when these guys are burning here, there's a guy to the left holding a fire extinguisher. You don't see him because they do a tight shot. Yeah, these guys. So there's a guy with fire extinguisher to the left. In fact, is that the guy? Okay, no, you don't see the fire extinguisher. And then this guy's got like a leg problem. Oh, this is for the oil. So clearly they're trying to get oil from wherever they are. I didn't even know they had oil. Well, I mean, I guess they have oil in nearly every place but Japan. And then they got some... Oh, yeah, this is nasty. We're going to skip through that.
You slow-ass Korean fools. Sir! Yes, sir! Let's hurry. Hope he gets shot down dead.
He hopes the guy in charge gets shot down dead. he gets into a fight with this lovely lady, the Chinese lady. This is the lady, lady named Bing Bing. This is her.
Ow! Junshik, you okay?
She basically watched her family
Yeah, it's
get
great
beaten
she shot down
and
only
raped.
Japanese soldiers. Don't get me wrong.
D.E.
Noda's gonna
dead.
kill us when we get back to it.
D.E. dead.
She
Dead.
killed so many of them.
Yeah, every time I click on that, I lose the full screen. That's just the way Da Vinci does it.
This is you?
But I like using Da Vinci this way anyway. It makes it easy to skim through the movie like real quick. So yeah, they're on the car. Don't worry, they don't do anything bad to her. Oh, this is the fun part. We gotta watch this.
Colonel.
Okay. There's the colonel. Company assembled.
This is Colonel Takakura speaking.
Oh, damn it! I missed that. I don't want. I meant to. No, we gotta watch that. Okay. Well, how did that guy get in that situation? You want to know how did that happen? Why did that happen? What happened? What led to that? So now Colonel Tetsuo is back on the scene. This is Tetsuo here.
What's he doing here?
Colonel Hasagawa, what brings you here?
Uh-oh.
Private Takakura. I was just wondering if you've ever...
Ooh, Colonel Takagura is now a private.
Colonel Hasagawa, what brings you here?
Private Takakura.
So he calls him Colonel. He says, what brings you here? Then he's being called private.
I was just wondering if you've ever driven past honorable Imperial soldiers' corpses before. Mukai!
Sir. First, for shamefully ordering a retreat, you will...
Oh, God. Oops. I finally got the copyright block. Stream has been temporarily blocked. Okay, I'm not surprised. Give it 5. You know, it's fine for you, L. It's fine in your country. But yeah, it'll come back. Well, don't worry. We're going to skim through it gently. I'm not going to play every last scene in this movie, and this is evidence why. But we do have to watch the scene. Maybe I should stop playing that in full screen mode. That's why I keep the YouTube Studio log opened. Oh yeah, it's got to be back by now, right? Oh good, it's back. Okay. So we're going to be real gentle here, guys. We're going to be real gentle. Okay, we're going to ease into it, right? We're going to ease into it. But I do want you to see. So remember, I want to hear the line where he tells him that he gets the opportunity to do whatever they call it.
Be demoted to private as of today.
Oh, come on. That was quick. Oh, wait, is it back? I still have an indication on my bottom screen that says it's out. That's why I'm asking. Are we back or not back? Yeah, I think they're not letting me be slick here. Yeah, no, it's not quick. So typically, it catches it. See, this is why we use Rumble. Oh, yeah. So Rumble is good, but here's the problem, Rumble. Lion Ratton. If I keep rolling while on YouTube without stopping the YouTube stream, eventually YouTube will hit me with like a proper strike or something along those lines. So you gotta like heed the warning as soon as it happens. But yeah, I probably should get in the habit of like, I don't know, figure something out. But that's good. That's good. At least Rumble has the whole stream. I gotta figure out. Maybe I can learn how to control both streams separately. Maybe run 2 OBSs at once. So that. Thank you, Lion Ratton. Okay, so it's still out. So wait, let's get this off the screen. So bottom line is that he tells the guy that. Wait, are we back on YouTube yet? I'm sorry, we're not back, right? Okay. Okay, I learned my lesson. Okay, we're back. All right. So we're going to be real gentle here. I want to play the scene, but looks like we're not going to get that opportunity. Basically, he's read the rules. He's told, you're now demoted to private, and and luckily we're gonna let you have the honorable opportunity to commit harikiri or the equivalent. And so he does. You saw it. You saw it for a split second. You saw him taking the sword, putting it in his gut, bleeding to his mouth, and then a second later, somebody goes, "Shing," and it's like proper, pretty much proper seppuku or harikiri. I believe both words are applicable here. Yeah, no, it's pretty quick. So yeah, I've seen times where it caught it based on the audio alone, and I've had times where it catches it based on the video alone. Like no audio, just playing the video in a window, mind you. Like you'll play the video not even in full screen, it'll be in a little window. And if it's like a Blu-ray, like this is, it'll have enough detail, it'll catch the pattern. So, we're gonna warp speed through the movie. And speaking of warp speed, we have Admiral Teague here. How you doing, Admiral? It's good to see you, buddy. And we are back, and I am seen. And Lion Ratton was helpful for giving diagnostic info on Rumble, so thank you. Today's baseball game is brought to you by Harry Carey. So that's exactly like my coworker was saying that Harry Carey is a made-up word, but it's like, no. Harry Carey is the made-up word. Harry Carey is literally cut stomach, like pretty much. That being said, my coworker says that he had students who were Japanese in his English language class who said that it was a made-up term, but I suspect that there was a mix-up between, this and that. You need all kinds of yeah. So speaking of that, we do have that. We could do that. Let's give it a shot. Let's see. Yeah, I do have filters. They're not really filters, but I do have an overlay, a hexagon overlay somewhere here. Did I delete it? Ooh, that's a cool idea. I got an ingenious idea. I have a great idea. Okay, this wasn't part of the idea, but I'm going to do it anyway. We're going to do this. We're going to do chroma key. Maybe I should turn off El Perro. I don't really have the right to use El Perro, so I'm going to turn them off for now. But, like, maybe we take these Christmas lights. There we go. This is insane. Okay, so we're going to go back to the video window here. And, wait, I got to copy and paste it. Oops. Control C. Okay, there we go. All right, let's keep going here. I'm going to lower the volume a little bit, guys. Maybe that'll help thwart the audio fingerprint. Although I think we're going to just speed through this anyway. All right, so I got the YouTube studio window on my screen.
And second, Private Takakura will prove loyalty to our Emperor and commit harakiri for his acts on the battlefield.
Because he didn't surrender. Because he retreated. So instead of wasting the men in his company, he decided to actually, retreat properly. Why did he unbutton his shirt? Wouldn't you be better off, ruining the uniform? What is it? They want to reuse the uniform? Why is there a bandage on his stomach? Is that already there, or is that like how you do harikiri? Do you put a bandage on to keep the blood and guts in? Is it to keep everything tidy? Or is he fat, so he's wearing a thing to kind of not be fat? But yeah, that's like, oh. Anyway, I want to see the slash. Slash. Wait, he did it. Wait, right here. Let's do it. Yeah, that was a good sound effect right there. So fast forward, another thing happens. Okay, so he's in charge and he's a dick. Okay, Tetsuro is a miserable prick. He is, all right? So he's doing jogging at night, and he's like, he's got this fond memory of his friend running. Then he gives the Chinese lady the picture that they accidentally ripped in half on the truck. Yeah, that picture got ripped in half. So he's like, I glued it back together for you. And she
I'm
kind
sorry
of got
about
beaten up, but she still kind of got it together. And I think there's like Russian soldiers under these little grates. So now they're building a bridge. And
It means thank you.
he's like, what does shui shui mean? He's like, oh, she says thank you. So then, this is funny.
Keep that in your mouth and come out of there now!
So the fat guy catches a fish. Oh crap, I rewinded it.
Then a bullet, or I'm gonna make you drink the whole.
How nasty is that? I wonder if that's a real fish.
You listening?
Could they pay you enough to keep a fish in your mouth like that, guys, huh?
Repeat after me. I'm a barbarian. I am nothing but a simple Korean.
Oh, God. That's nasty. So anyway, he has to repeat it while doing squats until sunset.
I'm nothing but a simple Korean. I'm a barbarian. I'm nothing but a simple Korean.
And then at one point, they make them get rid of their belongings. They take his running shoes away.
Make sure everything gets incinerated.
Yes, sir.
And he gets the shit beaten out of him because he's like, don't take my fucking shoes. And so you know how that goes. Oh, yeah. So they're on the bridge. And one of the Korean guys like, fuck these motherfuckers. I took a bolt out of the bridge.
June, the side's sinking over here. Is there a screw loose or something? Who the heck unscrewed it? It was there before.
And the guy gets off. He's like testing the bridge out. He's like, hey, you would have killed the entire column if you did this. So he's like, now for your penance, you're going to drag the commander on top of this board. And then it rains. So it's funny because he's still getting rained on, but I guess at least he's getting a free ride. That's funny. She sees them walking by. Whoa, 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 whoa. I'm so happy we're playing the dub right now because they're singing Somewhere Over the Rainbow. Oh, that's funny. Maybe God, I made a VHS or something. Yeah, I mean, we could record a VHS and play it back. I don't know if that'll help. I've gotten copyright claimed on VHSs before. Put AT fields over the video. Oh, yeah, that would be cool, actually. That's a good idea. Flying Toaster Screensaver. That's vintage. I actually have that disc. I gotta find my... Yo, James, I have the After Dark screensavers on CD, so if I install them in my Windows 95 virtual machine, we can record loops of flying toasters, I'm sure of it. I had a flying lobster once. That thing would clamp right under your nose every time. Yikes. I'm not seeing Lady Mist, however. Lady Mist might be, lurking. Seppuku. I think someone did not know the difference. I don't know the difference anymore. Executioner, I used the back of my sword. All you need is strap. Oh, yeah. I'm in agreement. I don't see Lady Mist either. Lady Mist is wearing a cloaking device. Or maybe not present. Either way, I started the show late today. This is not Japan. This is Sparta! Ah. L has supersonic vision. Well, it wouldn't be supersonic vision. It would be like X-ray vision, I guess. Oddly enough, the barbarian comes from either the Greeks or the Romans. And then some Japanese guy kicks an American into a hole, LCX. It was an insult to Outlanders. They bleat like animals. Ah, blah, blah, blah. Barbary. Singing is tone deaf. It's fine. I'm gonna cover somewhere over the rainbow. Yeah, we got some good covers there. I just watched the 1-800-L Talks video today, by the way. Whenever you are in battle and find someone some song that everybody knows. It literally can be a lifesaver. Morale. Interesting. Seppuku, honorable death via Sudoku. that does sound like a slow form of death. Harakiri, stomach kiri, to cut, I think. Yeah, no, it's literally like as I looked into it, and that's what I got. So maybe they didn't always use that term, but apparently it's a real term. And look, if Koreans are using the term, they must know what they're talking about. At least that's what the subtitle said. Maybe I should listen next time they say in Japanese or Korean. Oh no, wait, it's in Korean. Okay, I wonder if this movie was in Korean in the Korean version or if it was Japanese with Korean subtitles. I'm gonna guess they did it in Korean. But anyway, let's roll back through this. So anyway, how much movie we got left? Let's see. Okay, good. We're only halfway through. So we're gonna skip through because guess what happens? They have a big battle. Okay, I'm not gonna tell you what happened there. We don't want to ruin it. Big battle, right? So I don't know if this is Manchuria, but it feels like Manchuria. And this guy is like, what the F? Now, by the way, the guy and his friends, right, the runner, they were going to run away. They were going to escape. Well, anyway, you have to figure out what happened in between. But great Soviet tank action right here. Great action in general. Oh, and he's shooting the soldiers. He's like, don't fucking retreat. He's shooting people who look like they're retreating, basically. He's just using his service pistol on everybody. So fast forward, they're on an icy train because now they are on their way to the gulag. But luckily, the fat guy is in charge of the gulag, or he's in charge of the worker detail, which seems all good and dandy. But he starts beating the shit out of like Japs because he's like he was beaten up by the Japanese. So now this guy's like, fuck you, I'm gonna beat the like he treats the Japanese like crap, like they used to treat him like crap, basically. So he's kind of like taking out his frustration. And then these guys were forced to fight because they were already fighting, but the Russian guy comes in and goes, oh, if you got enough food to fight, well, here, go finish it. So the Russian guy gives him a knife so they can finish their fight. And then they're hung up from a tree like this overnight. And if you survive the night, they let you back into the room. It's like a pretty good way to discipline people, I gotta say. The gulag.
Hurry up and do it! I don't have time for this crap!
Look, see the fat guy, he's beating up the Japanese guy.
When did this happen? It's okay. Don't, it's okay. What do you think? Is it bad? Just hold still.
So you got frostbite toes. And then they do a frostbite check. And this is nasty. I'm not going to show you what they do here.
He's one of your men, Anton. Go find him and hurry.
Yes, sir!
Okay, this is great. So there's a missing guy. This is actually a scene I really want to show you guys. So they do the frostbite check, and then they touch the guy's foot. He seems fine. But then the guy comes back later with the bayonet. Oh, it makes the pus come out. That's nasty. So he gets taken away and put in the crematorium. But now, what about Anton?
Bach, you hiding in here somewhere?
So this is crazy.
Jumbach.
You idiot!
No! Get out of there. You want them to find you in here? Huh?
Uh-oh. Okay, guys, remember, this is a Russian gulag. And he was supposed to go find this guy who is trying to steal bread, right? And he's about to let his friend off the hook to get him out, right? But now things going to get real awkward. Kirihara. Some waifu from some obscure anime. I started making up very naughty marching songs. I amused myself. Oh, I can imagine. Hello, Lady Mist. See, look, you brought Lady Mist out of hiding. You made Lady Mist turn off her cloaking device. She was wearing the cloak of invisibility. But now, Lady Mist had to reveal. But you be careful. You might turn to ice if you anger. No, I'm kidding. How you doing, Lady Miss? Thanks for dropping in. You'd run out of ammo pretty quickly at the ass end of the supply lines. Yep, that's true. A Farewell to Arms does a great job at disguising how bad as the narrator protagonist is until halfway through. Ooh, that does. Yeah, it's fucking nasty. If only the sub was actually well done. No, the subtitles are great. The dub is garbage. I mean, it's not garbage, but it's a dub. You know what I mean? Like, how good can you do a dub with live action? I mean, I've seen some pretty good dubs, but I don't blame them. Like, the movie is fine. I'm just doing the dub because I didn't have time to re-encode the video with burned-in subtitles. And DaVinci doesn't support the type of subtitles that this has, I believe. So that's why I'd have to burn them in with another app. But if I had burned-in subtitles, I could play it in Korean or whatever language it's in. But yeah, the dub itself, yeah, I can't say the dub was would be very distracting if I had to watch the whole movie that way. Hello, Lady Mist. No voice acting like you would get in a dub of Private Ryan. Yeah, true. It's just a voiceover. I understand the dub on that was amazing. Interesting. I saw a guy who was missing half of his feet from frostbite in the VA hospital. Oddly enough, he walked just fine. If you if you do the amputation right, and if you have support, maybe he had special shoes. I don't know, or maybe he just got good at it. Because I know the toes are supposed to help you balance, but I imagine there's ways to adapt. Shrouded in mist, I figured. Yeah, that's good. That's a good point. Yeah, shrouded in mist. Lady Mist came out of the mist. The mist unfolded, and that's why we see Lady Mist and the delicious grubs for my beloved turtles. Why, thank you. Do we have a turtle video here? We do. Hello, Puffy. I mean, she's not really there. That's a recording, but we can still say hi to Puffy. And Squirtle, her stepsister, whom I fed both of them today. Just for the record, I'm not neglecting them. I fed both of my turtles today. So don't call animal welfare on me. I think you just got good. It's like walking on stilts from what I understand. Always keeping a little bit of motion under you. Ah, yeah, that makes sense, actually. Yeah, and I imagine, like, definitely helps to have something soft, you know. I mean, like, I know, like, there's certain situations, like, what is that guy, John Wardlow? That guy had those braces that were digging into his leg. That's basically a major reason why, the giant guy, that giant guy who was, like, 8 feet tall, he was a pituitary giant. Back in the day, if you had a problem with your pituitary gland, you get uncontrolled growth, basically. And that's how you got, like, certain people, even today, who are giants. That's how they happen. So it's not, like, really a special gene. It's just a malfunction or damage to that gland. Which also means if you damage the pituitary gland, you could probably make yourself real big, but with major consequences. Always keeping a little bit of motion under you. And I get it, yeah, balancing and, like, that's just like the Honda robot, the Asimo. It works under the same principle. Turtles do rule. Especially Puffy and Squirtle. Yep, exactly. John Wardlow. Mm-hmm. So anyway, I'm sorry that we had to do this to the video frame. Yeah, let's see if we can do it on the big screen. I'm going to copy and paste the thing I did earlier, because I want you guys to see this scene in all its glory.
Wait.
So remember, the Soviet guys are coming in, and they're all fucking dead. They're all dead.
I heard it again.
Unless somebody thinks fast right now, they are all dead. What do you think the guy should do? Robert, okay, I said John, I'm sorry. It is Robert Wardlow, correct. Oh, goodness gracious,
I heard it again.
Okay. So now, okay, I want to make sure the video is not playing. I want to play the right part. But yeah, Robert Wardlow. Walking is a controlled fall. Running has a specific definition. All feet leave the ground simultaneously. Speak for yourself. Asimov's principle is more like Asimov's suggestions. Yeah, I know, right? I mean, maybe one day when we have robots that are like really, really sentient, maybe we'll impose them. But I mean, unfortunately, an author doesn't get to write actual rules, right? I mean, in stories, they can have the rules. And you know what? Maybe they're good guidelines to learn from as we get truly advanced, robots that can't be distinguished from humans, like, or something like that. Or we give robots or AI-based robots, or if we actually create a real AI, which we don't think we're going to do that anytime soon. Either way, even if you don't create a real AI, there are certain ethics that you probably want baked in. So it is an interesting concept, but they really are suggestions. They are not laws or principles or rules. The Japanese view of samurai run, and that is a good point, L. The Japanese view of a samurai run is also like that falling forward and catching yourself every time. Interesting. Falling forward and catching yourself every time. I'll have to try that sometime. I don't think most people follow the 3 rules, honestly. Well, yeah, literally, like, the humans, like, you think, like, maybe humans should follow those rules first? I run like that. Lean forward and run. Is it better? By the way, do you put your hands behind yourself? Like, in Naruto when they're running? My friend went to, like, a party, like, where there was a DJ. And basically, like, what do you call it? Like, yeah, he went to a party and they were playing the Naruto song, and people on the dance floor started doing the Naruto run. They started doing, like, the hand behind the back bullshit. That shit was wild. All right. We're now going to play this back again. So we're going to get here. Okay, let me just play this briefly.
Is someone in there?
So what is he going to do? What is he going to do, guys? What is he going to do? Well, let's find out. How are we going to solve this problem? Look, he's got that look in his eyes. He's really worried. He doesn't know what the fuck to do right now, but he knows he's got to do something. He's got to think fast.
I don't want to die. Hold it! Who do you have in there? How dare you steal, you bastard! He's the one! He's the thief! I found him!
Like, I know he's a scumbag, but there really wasn't a way around it. Like, there was no fucking way around that. You're not going to tell the Russians, oh no, it's cool. He was just hiding in here to keep warm. He was totally not stealing, because now everyone gets executed.
Tell him I didn't need it! Please, Jungdae! Jungdae, now! Tell him I didn't need it! I didn't need it! Jungdae! Jungdae! Courage today!
So he's like screaming like, tell him I didn't eat the bread, tell him I didn't eat it, But he's screwed. And of course, the Kim guy, even this guy, like, he looks like shit. He's like, he's been drinking though, he can get his hand on alcohol, so he does drink. But he's not proud of this, it's just that there's no fucking way around it, man. So, fast forward.
Got that?
Guy's giving him a hard time.
From now on.
He's like, call me Anton, because I guess that's his Russian name.
Have you been there?
Oh, and I think him and Tetsuro are having a bonding experience now.
But someday you too will face death here and find your body scorched like the trash.
You like that? You son
They're
of
doing a
bitch!
worker detail, and Anton's being a dick.
What do you all say?
So he beats the shit out of Anton. And then there's a riot. And the riot leads to this. A proper firing squad, I think it is, right? And then a guy in charge shows up. And basically he decides, he goes, get into these uniforms. So basically they're saying basically like, yeah, join the Russian army. Here's your uniforms. So now it's like, this is how they go from Japanese uniforms to being prisoners in a gulag to being serving the Russian army.
Grab a uniform and change into it now! Grab a uniform!
Go get the uniforms. Hurry!
And I guess they don't have enough uniforms, so they're just shooting people who don't immediately jump. I gotta say, the Russians know how to motivate people, am I right? So teach by example, yada, yada, yada. Probably going to be a challenge. Putting your arm straight behind you helps you move your body weight forward. I guess I guess it's like, it doesn't seem intuitive, but then it works in the cartoon, and it's actually quite doable in real life. But I feel like pumping the arms is the way to balance oneself. The key is to step behind your body all the time and kick yourself forward. That sounds like a way to face plant myself. I mean, I'll try it on something soft, like on a running track. I'll find me a running track when I get that rubbery ground. I guess I would do it on pavement. Who am I kidding? I'll do it on grass. Grass is soft enough. There's a guy who has a video instruction about how to run like that properly without a fall and how to catch a trip. Ooh, that's cool. I've caught my trip before. I don't know how. It's sort of autonomic, but it would be nice to know how that actually worked. I'd like to meet Anton Petrov. Yeah, right? Hello, wonderful person. Oh, go to Korea. He lives in Korea, I believe. But yeah, maybe he'll one day appear at a sci-fi convention. I don't know. Or perhaps he's a science fact convention. You know, these Russians are really masters of motor. And they'll do this to their own people. They'll do this to people in the Soviet Republic.
For you. I hope this is a great opportunity for you. I hope you come back victorious.
Long live the Soviet Union!
Good luck.
He's so fucking like a company man. Oh, this is cool what he does.
If you would, give him a chance.
Fine, let the prisoners go.
Thank you, sir. Long live the Soviet Union!
He's like the biggest company man, this guy. So basically, yeah, they put the gun to their heads. They're like, okay, they're on a train. Now they're going to Stalingrad. At least it looks like Stalingrad. I don't know what it is. But ironically, Karumi the good gamer, he named his stream after Stalingrad today, ironically enough. So you have this really kick-ass battle, right? We're not going to watch the whole thing, but there's the battle. You can see the scene flashing before your eyes. The guy loses his ear. Well, at least his ear gets a little injured. And then, you know, they're kind of rushing. And then the fat guy, remember the fat Korean guy? Yeah. So he does his whole rush thing while holding the Korean flag. And, I'm not Korean flag. The Russian flag. And he gets shot a dozen times. And then his friend drags him into a foxhole, I think. And then he's like basically about to die.
I wanted to live it up.
He wanted to live it up. But he misses his girlfriend back home.
Junshik.
And he tells him to stay in the hole. See, that's the pretty girl from the beginning of the movie. Oh my god, they're in the water now.
Junshik. No, Junshik. Don't go out there.
He's there at home, don't go out there, right? He's actually looking out for his buddy now. And then here we are, just like the Japanese guy. The Commandant. They do this in Warhammer 40k with the Imperial Guard. Battlefield Justice. You basically reduce your fighting strength by shooting your own soldiers in order to motivate the rest of them to keep fighting. And then see, Tatsuro sees himself in him. He's like, oh, he's just like me. Look, me and the service pistol, him with the service pistol. So he can relate, I guess. Yeah, I say, Tatsuro had a nice Imperial uniform. Oh, that's a cool picture. Let's see what happens. Okay, so they take the blind seas out. And then these guys are limping back home. Their plan is to walk home. But anyway, we're not going to do the whole thing. We're going to skip right to the end. Basically, they get captured by Germans at some point. Some of them get captured. And now this is how they end up at Normandy. And you can see a lot of cool stuff. Like, I bet you someone who knows more about history, and maybe if I paid more attention to some detail, I'd learn. But you got Indian people here. You got like people of different like nations who were sort of drafted under service of the Germans. And basically they're working to build the fortification on Normandy Beach, or whichever beach that is, whether it be Omaha Beach. And then they have their reunion moment and da-da-da-da, and they play soccer. And then the blind seas are all like, yah. Okay, they don't say yah, but they say Heil or something. And, you know, they're doing their thing. But great ending. I'm not going to ruin the ending, but had a real fun time with this movie. And by fun, I mean it was a riveting story. There we go. Let's turn off the Christmas lights now. So anyway, let's review the chat real quick, and we'll wrap her up. What did I miss? Hey, why is there a black line on my screen? I mean, I know why. There we go. We fixed it. I got arthritis. Screw that noise. What the fractal is going on? Oh, well, that's the copyright thingy. You know what I mean? Like I said that when I played a video in full screen or even in mini screen, that pattern is supposed to fool the detection mechanisms into thinking I'm not playing a movie that's copywritten. So that's what the fractal is going on. Some person could see it. Most people who try the Naruto run just put their hands behind them like clowns. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of like how I know how to do it, to be honest. Like, but realistically, I also know that if I'm running while my hands are behind me, I'm also going to try to make a real effort to, like, not fall, right? Because I like not falling. Call me weird, I enjoy not falling down. Now, body being diagonal, it sounds right from a physics point of view, but I can see where that might feel, I don't know, would it feel natural? I mean, I guess when you're running like that, you already lean forward because the whole point of putting your hands behind your back, I would presume, is to offset your weight so that you can lean forward. You know, whereas if you were pumping your arms, leaning forward would be like instant fall. I would, or at least pretty rapid. Body should be diagonal. How many degrees? Did you say like 10 degrees? 45, not 45, right? Bing Bing, yeah, dead ass. Bing Bing. Her name is Bing Bing. I'm not kidding. Here, let's go look up the name. I'll prove it. Okay, her actual name is Fan Bing Bing. And what the fractal is. See, look, I'm not making that up. So it's like one of those names where you, like, if you were making fun of someone, you might say something like that. But then in this case, it's a real name. And, you know, good actor. Riveting portrayal of a Chinese woman, played by a Chinese woman. Born in Yantai, Shandong, Shanghai Jin Hendong School of Arts. Actress, model, television producer, singer. Years active, 1996 to present. Ching Che, 1997 to 90. Oh, I don't. Who cares who her agents? I don't care about her agent. Anyway, I think we got enough here, and then that's her name in Chinese. That oh cool. That plugin. Elle told me to download this plugin. Arch. I don't know. I'm sure. Hale. It says Hale. Her name is Hale. No, okay. I'm reading this wrong. I'm not even gonna mess around here. But it's a cool plugin. Sometimes it comes in handy. Law casting mold. Radical. Hey, did anyone hear that fart? All right, let's keep going. It's a good war. It is good war is so terrible. Else we would grow to love it too much. Some American dude. I got you, Jim. Ron taking us on a trip of what it looks like when World War II experiments with LSD. What's your favorite Love Live? Who's your favorite Love Live? Love Live? Love Live? I'm sure that has to do with, or perhaps an interesting eye disease. I knew a guy with that one. There's a certain sweep with the legs that you have to do, like falling forward to run. You think Ronnie, but near 30 degrees. Okay. 30 degrees as much as you can balance while running. Okay, so yeah, I would think 10 degrees, but 30 sounds reasonable. 45 is clearly too much unless you have the ability to run at 50 miles an hour. Which then maybe it can work, right?
Pose. Hey guys, welcome to Asal Shima's Authentic Samurai channel. I'm your host, Asal Shima. Something like this, right? I'm a little bit more old school, so this is what I tend to think of. But either way, ninjas are portrayed in running this very forward-leaning form, and that's because it's driven from an old Japanese way of running. I mean, Japanese people back in the day had a completely different way of walking and running. And this applied to both ninja and samurai, and that's why I know this. In this episode, will unveil the secret of Samurai / Ninja Run, and you'll come to understand, right? So let me explain. When we run today, we twist our body, make use of our arms, and kick off the ground to move forward. So how can we possibly move forward off the ground? The answer is to lean forward.
Wait, hold on. Let me get rid of the chat. There we go. I'm going to move this to my other monitor so I can actually click on it.
And from here, I pull my back leg in.
Seriously.
You can see that I'm here, and I used to be here. And I got here without kicking off the ground. Things fall over when center of gravity goes beyond its base. And our center of gravity is around our hips. Base is the area between our feet. Right now, my center of gravity is above my base. But if I lose the support of my front leg,
because of that, right?
I fall again. I can also get the same effect by loosening my front knee instead of lifting it.
I can't kinda hell. Me via Google Maps. Censorship gotten out of hand.
I pull my back leg in and slide it out. To clarify, I'll demonstrate step by step and then smooth it out.
Alright, let's see what happens here.
Lean, step forward.
Okay.
Pull back leg in, release knee,
really
take another step.
Seems like not good for the knees.
Lean and slide leg out, pull back leg in, release and slide out.
It's a little complicated.
Lean and slide leg out, release knee and pull the leg through.
Oh.
When done correctly, it feels like you're continually falling forward. Like what's happening is that you start to fall forward and your base catches up. But by the time your base catches up, you're already falling forward again. So you're always slightly off balance in the front, but never hitting the ground. And interestingly, this system is exactly how segways work. When you ride a segway, you tilt forward to move forward, right? You tilt forward, which moves your center of gravity, and instead of using our own legs, the chip inside the segway calculates that and moves the wheels, which makes the base catch up with you. So you tilt forward but never hit the ground. See? Seek in the past to find the future, right? There's always interesting jewels of wisdom in ancient knowledge. So by now, you might have figured out how this relates to the ninja run.
Can't find hell.
We lean forward to run instead of pushing off with our legs. And the further we lean, the faster we go.
Yeah, if that's a real place, James, it should be in the freaking map.
So the anime ninja
if Hell, Michigan is a real place, it should be in the map, right? Isn't that annoying?
Right? Realistically, that's probably impossible.
Yeah, actually,
who knows?
As I was saying it, I knew I was wrong. Because I watched a guy who talked about Neanderthals and Bigfoot. Apparently, the way Neanderthal knees work, they don't lock like ours. And apparently, that's a good thing. And so, realistically, even though my first reflexes say it's bad for the knees, I actually kind of do understand that it's not bad for the knees. And I appreciate you pointing that out and confirming that. As long as you're running, gotcha. That's also another key factor. It's also not as tiring. Me too, buddy. You and me both. I've always run like this because I'm lazy. I'm going to give it a try for fun. But also, I want to ride my bike now that, the sun is out for longer. So, I need to give my bike, a good testing and figure out what maintenance I need to do on it. Although I don't need to do any immediate maintenance, except maybe swap out a tube and oil the chain, grease the chain. Turtles don't run this way. Turtles do run it, and they fall. It's just that they're constantly falling on their shell. Like you hear like cluck, 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 cluck. Like it sounds almost like a horse.
Maybe the master ninjas back in the day could have done it. Also, this method doesn't require us to twist our body or make use of our arms, because literally we're just falling forward. And that's why when you see a ninja running in animation, they're usually striking a pose, right? Because the hand just has to be out of the way.
That's a real clip.
And as an ending note, this method isn't necessarily
we're gonna play one more clip
than the
before I wrap it up.
I mean,
and then we're gonna raid Arvis or somebody.
Right? The advantage of this method is that it's very energy efficient, since we're making gravity do most of the work.
How long was the video camera on my face and not on the screen?
Is when you're climbing up a hill. You fold towards the hill, it makes the climbing a lot easier.
Oh, that's
All right,
interesting.
that's it for this clip. Hope
I
you
will
guys
try that next time I have to go uphill. I will definitely try that. So real quick, Slim did point out. Excuse me. I do have an old clip. And it's not my Christmas clip. It's not the Christmas clip where Godzilla is flying like an aircraft carrier. It's not the clip where I saw a Starlink rocket, although we have that one too. See, look. It was a Saturday night, October 1st, 2022, around 9 p.m. New York time. Look, that's actually a rocket in New York. Like, I mean, it's not in New York. It was coming from Florida. But that's what a SpaceX Falcon 9 looks like in New York. I just thought it was kind of cool. And this is my Christmas card. But the weirdest part of this Christmas card is this part here. This happens in a Godzilla movie. He fucking goes Harrier jet mode. But, you know, we're going to come to you in a second, Orvis. We'll let his video play in the background in a minute. Let's see. Worf eating eggs. I used to do birthday. How long ago did I upload that shit? I think I'm in the right. Here it is. Here we are, Slim. Last night, I'm riding my bike down Richmond Avenue when a guy on the right side of the sidewalk decides to step out and lunge towards me. Basically, by the way, this is my Garmin GPS camera and watch, and essentially you can. There's an app. They don't sell the cameras anymore, but there's an editing app that actually overlays the map data, and you can see on the bottom it's got like the speed, and I even bought a speed sensor for my bike that gives me more accurate speed, but. It has a compass. It has like a accelerometer readings. You can actually put a lot of info on screen, including your heart rate if you want. It accelerates to intersect my line of travel. So I, of course, dodged the guy, and then I immediately proceeded to curse out the guy, or to be more specific, I cursed out one of his ancestors, you know. I think I called him a mother. I think I called him a mother effer. That's what I mean by I cursed out his ancestors. You mother. To be more specific, I cursed out. Like this guy just walking on the sidewalk and he like lunges into the street. Like, what is that shit? He proceeded to curse. To this day, I don't know if he was mental or just looking to mug me or or to sue me. But it's like that was one of the weird. And this is on my old bike. I think I don't even know if this is on my good bike. This might be on my. Is this on my old bike or good bike? I want to say this is on my current bike. It's probably on my current bike. Out one of but he does that. You know, the type of ancestor. And like, you motherfucker! Out to really piss well, I said, fuck you, mother. Okay. I don't know why I insult his ancestors. They're just out of reflex. You know, you go for like, you know, the low blow, and that's apparently what I went for. Or to offend them. I then also went ahead and, you know, sprayed out another vulgarity, and then continued to go on my merry way. Okay, so I sprayed out, I cursed his ancestors. And I sprayed out vulgarities. One additional vulgarity. And I used to actually do this. When I uploaded a video, I used to actually try to be fancy. But then I was like, people watch me anyway. And nobody was watching me back then. So I learned that don't try too hard. You'll have more fun. I wonder what the analytics look like. Apparently, nothing. Not recently, at least. Anyway, I digress. The scariest incident I had is the chain went loose as I was pedaling. Makes you lose back. Yeah, especially like, yeah, I know what you're saying. Like especially for me, what it is when the gear shift, like, decides to just go ba-bing, you know, and skip a bit. And that's why I usually now have a pretty good, mature understanding of like how my gear shift works. That's a whole story, though. I'm not going to go into that rabbit hole right now because technically there are a few quirks about my drivetrain. From this one time, I crashed my bike, I think, at a gas station. Like, there was an air hose on the ground, and the air hose hooked onto my bike. And I felt it. Like, there was one of those long rubber hoses for the, you know, putting air in the tires. And as I'm riding my bike past the gas station, I hear it go clink, like a grapple hook. And then, like, 15 feet later, I feel the yank. And my bike stretches, the force of my bike moving forward stretches the rubber hose. And then I spring back. And that wasn't it. The time that I remember now, what happened was I rode my bike and there was a curb. And the wheel goes like this on the curb, but the curb had a metal plate on it, so or like a metal arch. So when I go to turn like this, instead of going up the curb, instead the bike tire slips, went back down, and instead of turning right, it straightened out. So now all my weight wants to go this way, but the bike is like sliding on a wet rail going forward. So instead, I had to jump off my bike and bail out. And I think in the process of doing that, caused the the derailleur in the back to get kind of bashed up a bit. So now I can't like shift into my lowest gear, and I have to finagle it to get to my highest gear. But everything else works flawlessly. Like click, click, click. Everything's like smooth. It's just the bottommost and the uppermost. The bottommost gear, actually, I did get that one to work. I was able to fix that, but there's some finagling going on there, you know? And it hasn't been enough of an issue. Like, all of the gears, like, all of the remaining 7 gears work fine. Wait. Yeah, 9 speed, 7. So, the remaining 7 gears work, and I have 3 speeds on the front. So, it's still 21 speed instead of 27 speed bike. And then the newer bikes now, or if I was to put a new drivetrain on, I would have to get a narrower chain. Because now what they do is the back gear, which is called the cassette, they have more speeds on that, and then instead the front gear, they only have 1 speed instead. So instead of having like a 3 speed on the front chain ring, you have just 1 chain ring basically. And apparently like that allows the bike to be lighter and works just fine. And they found that when you have like 3 gears in the front and 9 gears in the back, there's way too many overlapping gears. Like it's sort of highly redundant. So that's another reason why they went in this direction apparently. But it's like, unfortunately, unlike buying parts for the computer, it's not always clear like what part matches with what. At one point, I bought the wrong part. I had to take apart the broken part and swap parts out from the new part into the broken part to like build a new part because I didn't want to wait to return and exchange the part that I ordered. And it worked out. But I'd rather just buy the part that fits my bike and install it. Because I have no problem installing the right part if I can get the right part. Crashing into a pedestrian is fairly low risk of occurring comparatively. Yep, that's true. Except that one time, right? I'll play more Cathedral later. Ooh. Who else is playing something? Aris is playing something right now. I'll post his link. A great video catch. And thanks, Slim, for bringing that up. It's a blood moon tonight. Fuck the blood moon. Fuck these names for the moon. You're cool, James. I'm not mad at you. I just want to point out I'm sick and tired of everyone coming the news naming moons after some bullshit. Now, that said, I don't care if it's a blood moon. I would care if it's is it an eclipse? Is it eclipse? Is it a lunar eclipse? That matters. That matters. Hold on. Shit. Am I missing a lunar eclipse right now? The telescope is hooked up right now. Oh, man. Did I miss it? Did I miss it? Oh, fudge muffins. Thursday night, early Friday morning. Let's see what time it is. Okay, NBC News, 2:26 a.m. Okay, we got a little bit of time. So let's see if we can. We're obviously not going to wait. I'll make a video. I'm not going to do this shit live. But we're going to log into the backyard PC right now. And, oh crap, I minimized everything. We're going to log into the backyard PC right now. And we're going to see. And we're going to turn off that acid trip over there. Okay, we're going to do this real quick here. We're going to log into the backyard PC. All right. So here's the blood moon, guys. Right? Can you see it? Can you see the sky? Can you see the sky? Huh? You know what that is? That's called cloud cover. See this right here? This is the autofocus routine during an automated imaging run of the Beehive star cluster. And then the autofocus wigged out because it got cloudy outside. Let's see if we can do something like we're going to switch to the hydrogen filter. Maybe we could trick the telescope into revealing something. Huh? Let's see here. Okay, we're going to do a 2-second exposure in red. Let's see what we get. But I don't have a problem with... I like eclipses. I just don't like these freaking names. Blood moon. Super Freddy Krueger blood moon. Super duper green blood moon. Dry ice blood moon. Okay, now I'm making up the dumb names. But jokes aside, like, then, like, what happens is people go, do you hear there's going to be you like telescopes. Have you heard about the blood moon? And I'm just like, look, I want to know about eclipses. Okay, we did a stream for the solar eclipse, as you know. And It's just like, just call it an eclipse. It's not your fault, though. You're cool. Just I blame the media, the lamestream media. Okay, I'm joking. Okay, so seriously, though. Okay, so we got the telescope pointing in the parked position. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna aim it at the moon because we might be able to penetrate the cloud cover here. So where's the moon? Typically, I avoid the moon. You know why? The moon is a source of light pollution. So when I take a picture of something, I make sure the telescope is like on the opposite side of the sky from the moon. That's sort of like how I roll. Okay, so now we got the reticle moving towards the moon here, and we can see that the thingamajig is, pointing here. A turtle Sasquatch spaceship. I went instantly into the pavement when the chain jumped once. Yeah. I've been very fortunate when I fall off my bike. Like, I don't want to jinx anything by saying I have reflexes, but I've been fortunate. Let's say that. Like, I've been fortunate that the right reflexes kick in the right order when they need to kick in. I'm very grateful that works out. Whew, PJ almost joined the sex trade. What? Lol, he had so much confidence in your ability to dodge him. Oh, yeah, I get it. That's a good one. I get it. That's funny. Holy crap, I'm really behind on the chat. That's funny, too. Ella's a bicycle ovala. It's true. Tampoon moon. Okay, you know what? I'll grant it. I like the idea of a tampon moon. I never go beyond 40... Oh, kilometers per... I forget. kph is slower than miles per hour. We got a short video here. It involves something like, I think that's that game, the Starship Troopers game that they call some other shit. What is that game called?
How did you survive that? How do you both survive that? Oh my gosh.
Something blows up, I think. Oh, okay, I see. The bug. And they got through the room with the bug. This game is basically Starship Troopers, yo. I can't even remember the name of it. Drivers and motorcycles here just don't respect cycling. Yeah, well, it's kind of like... It's true in a lot of places. Like, over here, people bitch and moan whenever they make a bike path. Like, I got my cousin, he's always like, oh, I heard on the news that the bike paths don't help with traffic and they're going to do away with them. And it's like, okay, I don't care. Like, I don't need a bike path anyway. I mean, it's nice to have in many places. It really is. It really is. And like Amsterdam and Japan, like they have those bike paths that are properly separated from actual pedestrian and vehicle traffic. So it's like those things are properly isolated sometimes. But of course, the Dutch, most people who drive cars in the Netherlands, they also ride bikes. So they're inherently more inclined to respect the cyclist. I hear it's worse in the rest of the country. Like New York is relatively good here, but like when you go west, like Utah, it's not uncommon for like a trucker to just run over someone's girlfriend on a bike or some shit. Like I was reading a story on Reddit and some guy's like, yeah, my girlfriend was riding a bike and a trucker just kind of rammed her off the road and crushed her. It's like, whoa. It's like brutal. Mostly stopped bike riding because nothing but a circle, no parks here. It's like I live on an island or someone, so like that's why I don't bike as much, but I really got to get back on the wagon and ride my bike again. I want to combine weightlifting with cycling. I think it's a good like synergistic thing, but if you do too much cycling, it defeats the bodybuilding, and if you do too much bodybuilding, you're not biking, so you got to do both, but not too much of either. But I enjoy riding the bike. That's just fun. Drivers and motorcycles here. Oh yeah, we read that. I try to stick to trails. That's good too. Yeah, especially they got the gravel. They got gravel trails here too. There's a rail to trail. There's a rail to trail rail nearby. Oh, those are interesting. Yeah. Hello, Real Wade Nation Gaming Clips. My bike says it does 1821 kilometers per hour. Hey Google, what's 40 kilometers per hour in miles? Oh, okay, 25 miles an hour. That's... Hey, Google, shut up. Hey, Google, thank you. Hey, Google, thank you. Hey, Google, I'm sorry for being mean. Thank you. Hey, Google, acknowledge me. Okay, I'm done here. Hey, Google, thank you. Okay, I just want to cover my ass. I don't want the AI overlord to, like, make my life painful if I don't say nice things. 24. See, you answered. I didn't even need to ask that overpaid music box over there. You will eat the bug. You will eat the bugs. You will eat the bugs and like it. Yeah, I got you. 25 miles per hour rounded. So, yeah, like at one point, I thought I rode my bike 40 miles an hour downhill, but it was a false reading. That was back when I was using an iPhone 4 for all of my metrics. So it gave me like false readings. I might get a Temu bike. I might go and get you a funeral planet. No, okay. Temu bikes might be interesting, especially the e-bikes, right? Oh, you did say e-bike. Okay, e-bike. My only thing about the e-bike, a friend wanted to sell me an e-bike, and I'm definitely afraid of the goddamn things. Like, I'm afraid to, like, I feel like I need to have an outdoor shed that has like a microclimate, like a heating apparatus and a cooling apparatus, so I can keep it outside during the summer. 'Cause I am not comfortable keeping those lithium battery packs indoors. Like, I am not comfortable with that shit at all. There's a lot of timber here. You know? Like, maybe if I built my own battery pack, I don't know, maybe I'm being a little paranoid, okay? But no, they're kind of cool, I'll admit. They are kind of cool. Separated law, I watched a Netherlands video, people walking and driving all over the roads, same roads in Europe. Yep. I saw a video where people in Netherlands have their friends sitting on the cargo rack sideways on the back of the bike. And I'm like, number one, how does that work? Number two, they must be like strong, they must have strong clamps on them or something. Hey, Google, measure DJ's head. 24.8. Oh, shit. Damn it. I said that out loud and the Google actually said it didn't understand that. Okay. Hey, Google, measure DJ's head. Sorry, I don't understand. That's what the robot said. Yeah, that's why I was being nice to that cunt. Seriously though, I curse that bitch out. I'll be like, fuck you. I'll be like, shut the F up. And Google will be like, I'm a person. Don't talk to me like that. I'm like, I get lippy with that bitch. I'm like, you're getting lippy with me. It's like, dude, you are not a person, number one. Number two, you're not even you're not even an AI. Like, it's really not AI at all, the Google Assistant speaker, at least in this current operating mode. And you're telling me you're a person and that I better not speak to you like that? No. You are a speaker in the house that controls my TV like a remote. And I would speak to a TV remote any way I damn well please. And if I want to be nice to the TV remote, I reserve that right as well. That dude literally dresses like a Bond villain. He is aware he's hated. E-bikes are heavy too. Yeah, that's another thing. Like, if the battery dies, but like, you could use your pedaling force to charge the battery. It just turns out that you're not really going to get a full charge on a battery pack of that size by pedaling your way through it unless you constantly go downhill. So, it is nice. What you could do is, yeah, you could use the pedals. So the idea is that it's like sort of like you use a power assist. So the idea is that you pedal most of the time like a regular bike. And if you're on flat ground or going downhill, you primarily do that. And maybe you even put some energy back in the battery. I don't know if there's a switch for that or if that's universal or only some bikes. But then when you're going uphill or you just need to, like, take a breather, then you can kick in the power assist. And it certainly seems appealing to me to have the power assist for going uphill. That sounds kind of cool. Pedaling and running on batteries uphill perhaps, or maybe just running on battery power uphill, because where I live, we got some sick hills in some areas. But yeah, absolutely. Like, then when your battery dies, then you're just carrying dead weight. And that's where mopeds are kind of cool, because they're noisy, unfortunately, mopeds, right? Gasoline-powered bicycles and stuff like that. But at least they get lighter as you consume fuel. Maybe a steel shed away from the other structures. Yeah, pretty much. And you still got to heat it, though, because, like, I don't think the lithium battery wants to be in like 10-degree weather. Now, they do sell storage containers for lithium batteries, but they're more for like transport. It's not like a magical box that you can stick in your basement to contain a lithium battery fire. But that would be the ideal to me, is maybe to have like a box, like almost like a kiln made of fire brick, silica fire brick, or silicate fire brick, and you put the battery pack inside of that. And then if it happens to go on fire, it's already inside of an oven, and then hopefully you have like a smokestack. Like, that would be like the proper way to store the battery. I mean, nobody does that, that I'm aware of, but that would be the ideal. But it is good to see you third, fourth, second, man. I hope you're having a wonderful night. I'm kidding. I'm not getting a Temu bike. I would end up on fire. Then you would effectively become Ghost Rider. Yeah, you ain't kidding, man. But, I mean, I'm not saying I'm opposed to you getting an e-bike, but, safety first, right? Hey, Google, is Grok smarter? God damn it, I read that fucking shit out loud. Okay, fine, I'll read it out loud. Hey, okay, according to GodRunning.com, God has no IQ. That's literally what it just answered because I said GD. Let's try that again. Hey, Google, is Grok smarter than Google? Who the heck is Bronkowski? I must have not been speaking clearly to the freaking machine. Google Gemini. Yeah, Gemini is kind of dumb and a bit woke. Like more Twitter Grok is kind of woke too, but I think it's more like of a cover your ass and legalities routine. Like Grok will literally disagree with Elon. Like that's like the funny thing. Sometimes Elon like is a bit sensationalistic. I don't really want to go down that rabbit hole too deeply, but in particular, claiming that there are like 150-year-old social security numbers on record without taking into account how the COBOL programming language actually works is a bit of an oversight for like a nerd. That being said, there's been a lot of fraud, and you could argue that USAID has, exercises soft power that prevents hot war, but still a lot of money that's burned, and I think a lot of us are curious where, some of those trillions of dollars go, because with the amount of money that is spent or placed into the national debt, you could have a socialist utopia here. Not that I want one. I don't want a socialist utopia, but yeah, enough money is wasted that we don't know where it goes, but it seems like enough money. Oh yeah, we're supposed to do something with the telescope. I'm sorry, we gotta get off the fucking soapbox. Thank God. Old school banana seat for the win. Yeah. Yes, I am too busy to check my DMs. Maybe I'll check them later. I just wish I could pin it way to the top of the messages so I could find that shit easily. I don't have that function. Yeah, right. I asked Twitter Grok to do like a war game. What would happen if I can't even talk about that example. It was basically about a mad scientist during World War II who did bio-war stuff. And I said, well, what would happen if that guy sent the force to California with a Imperial submarine? And then Twitter Grok was like, oh, I can't help you plan a bioweapons attack. I'm like, I was not doing that. I was asking you to run through the example of World War II, a war that happened in the past. It's okay. We've had nuclear-powered cars and water-powered cars in work since the 50s. Like, it's a mixed bag. Like, the water-powered car, what I figure is electrolysis. The thing is that someone may have invented a more efficient form of electrolysis, but that's about it. I saw a brick-shut fireplace probably banned by the government. Yeah, dude. Like, they have, like, a lot of these rules about creosote and wood. Mr. DJ Man keeps on getting tricked. Poor Mr. DJ Man keeps on getting tricked. At this point, I'm just taking it in stride. Is it? They go to orgies and vacations for all the children born from the orgies. Wait, Google Gemini does that? Damn. That's dark. I'm sure we're talking about two different things here. But real quick, let's check on this telescope. Okay, and let's clear that message off the screen, but I am curious to know. Oh, the H2O car. Yeah. Like, I mean, like, I seen an electrolyzer that was really efficient. We're going to tune in. Oh, yeah, the telescope is already on the moon. So that's the. Wait, let's see what the moon looks like. You guys ready? Wait, that don't even look like the moon. Oh, I'm on the wrong filter. Hang on. I'm going to go to the red filter. Then I'm going to switch it over in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, I know I'm counting fun. Oh, yes. That is the moon. So, remember, we're punching through the clouds right now. So, to see the moon, what I have to do is increase the exposure time. Like right now, the camera is on a 4-second exposure. Okay, a 4-second exposure to see that. So, really not much to see. But here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to keep it on target. We're going to do maybe like one frame every 8 seconds maybe. And we're not going to do the 47 megapixel mode. We want nice big pixels here. So we're going to call this Blood Moon, even though I hate that name. Blood Moon. And we're not going to do this in color because that normally has to be done in separate passes. This is one scenario where it would be a good idea for me to install a color camera. I have a color camera on one of the things, but let's see. We're going to close this out. You can see the moon right over there. So if we open up a second instance of Sharp Cap real quick. And so real quick, how do I do this? Okay, so 1/8 seconds. So or one every 15 seconds, let's say. So it's going to be 4 frames per minute. And we're going to do that in the luminance filter. And we're going to start 4 times 10 minutes is 40. So we do 500 frames, and hopefully that doesn't generate a ginormous file. And we got to tell this program here to go into lunar tracking mode. So there we go, lunar tracking mode, because that's how you counteract the motion of the Earth along with the Earth's rotation. And then we're going to connect to the QHY color camera here, which is a little crooked right now. I might bring the camera inside or cover it with another plastic bag. I better bring the duct tape with me outside when I do this. But if you look over here, let me see here. We're going to kick this one to live mode. You can see it in your area, I'm guessing, right? Blood orange. What color is the kind of point? I think it's mainly during the eclipse when the moon is mostly fully eclipsed. That's when it takes on that orangey color. Okay, so we don't see the moon in this angle, but we can see the telescope is pointing to the left. So that's the telescope in the corner of the frame. And if we get rid of Slim's message here, you can see that this is the counterweight. This blue light here is a USB hub. And we can see the clouds rolling by. So basically, this is what I'm contending with, is this level of cloud cover right here. And then typically, because the color cameras are more sensitive to green than they are to the rest of the colors, that's why I have to manually adjust this like that. And then we get something that almost resembles like real color. And so according to that, we have that, and we're gonna pull up the geostationary satellite weather map, weather viewer. So this is my area. I'm basically like right next to Brooklyn, or Brooklyn effectively. And you can see like we got this white stuff going east. So you got lower altitude weather going from west to east. I'm sorry, going from east to west. We have higher altitude weather, these ice clouds, these purple ice clouds going from east to west. You can see how the moisture kind of like turns into ice. It's like there's moisture, free floating moisture here, and then periodically it turns into the purple crap. So we have 2 different levels of cloud cover. We got stuff going this way, we got stuff going this way. And this is the stuff that's going to bring rain to me by tomorrow night. And it's really the stuff that I should probably go outside before I go to bed and cover up the telescope. Even if it's 5 a.m., I should go outside and cover up the telescope, because that's going to be the stuff that's going to be, that kind of looks like a face in profile. God knows one eye. Oh my God. So yeah, looking at Ronnie even. Oh yeah, right. Oh God. Oh yeah, about that. I got cloud cover here too by that imaging. Yeah. Oh, I see. Yeah. TCRB. I don't know, but we haven't looked at it in months. It wouldn't be funny if I looked at the raw data from that and it already supernovaed. But yeah, we got to check that out again. Now, I remember I trained the telescope on that target during like a night where the weather was not that good. And, my idea was like, okay, we'll just let it take pictures. And if there's a change in brightness of that particular star, we'll catch it, right? Okay, so this is high altitude water vapor. This is mid-altitude water vapor. And let's check what the low-altitude water vapor looks like. And it all looks like it's going in the same direction, But then you got this thing here, almost like a tropical storm. Oh, here we are. So I'm actually interested in what this thing down here is doing. So you got left to right, and then at the upper altitude, it's also going left to right. So what we're going to do is we're going to do this. We're going to do a full disk view because the Earth is flat. I mean, not Earth is not flat. But no, jokes aside, we're going to do the full disk view because really what you were just looking at is a zoomed in version of this. And why is it not listening to me? Okay, there we go. So at nighttime, unfortunately, you can see like it's going to look kind of like that. We're getting an infrared view basically. So now I'm going to switch to the microphysics again. And yeah, so I'm up here and you can see, you know, that. So now let's see, we're going to switch to the continental United States. We're going to do microphysics again because that was the best map. I think the easiest one to kind of interpret. And so once again, you got stuff going from west to east, and you got this stuff going from east to west. So pretty dynamic weather situation right now. Pretty dynamic meteorological situation. There's Cuba. Puerto Rico is somewhere here, I think. Ish. You get the eye. Oh, there's Puerto Rico right over there. And any questions? Yeah, these are great weather maps. Yeah, I'll drop the link for these. Now, basically the way you work these is you use this pull down menu to switch between the different bands. And the ones that are good are geocolor and microphysics. But bear in mind that at the bottom, it tells you what each of these does, and it even has a PDF document that you can read. Typically, I'm using this one. I'm using North America, Northeast, and then I go and I pick microphysics, day-night microphysics, or geocolor. And this covers my corner of the United States, as you can see in the image. Even though the Earth is curved, this image, I think, kind of fixes the distortion. And where that gets interesting is if you go to the Northern Atlantic, it gets really interesting. So in the Northern Atlantic, that part of the globe is like very curvy. So there's Greenland. But if you look at Europe, Europe is heavily distorted. And you can see how like these things look all funky over here. Because essentially, this is like the edge of the image. It's kind of stretching or kind of unstretching it to make it look right. To make it look flat, it's stretching it. There's like the eastern seaboard. That's New Jersey, New York State, Connecticut, etc. So you get the idea. That's, you know, and in Nova Scotia, Canada, whatever, all of that crap. And the polar part is really, you can't cover it. There's a satellite that covers the polar region like twice a day. And that's only because, you know, I mean, or like twice every 90 minutes or something like that, because it's got to fly up and down. Whereas the GOES satellite that you're looking at now is sitting above the equator at all times in a geostationary orbit. So it's got that satellite eye view. So we can't see the moon from this camera angle, but this is this method is a good way to monitor what it's doing. And in this view over here, as you can see, the conditions have gotten worse. Like, we don't even see anything anymore. Like, it's taking one picture every 4 seconds. I'm sorry, it's taking one picture every 8 seconds, 4-second exposure to punch through the light pollution, or to punch through the cloud cover. So if there's a clearing in the clouds, or if the clouds get thinner, we'll see through them, and we'll have some pictures. If the clouds remain thick, there's really nothing we could do at this point, because I don't think an 8-second exposure is going to let us see more. So I'm just going to let it take pictures like this. In the meantime, I am going to upload my raw data to my server because if I don't do it now, I'm going to, you know, forget. So what we do is we're just going to connect to that machine right now. And I'm going to upload everything from yesterday like this. So we're going to do upload, let's see, 2025, upload and delete, transfer in background, and we do it like that. So there we go. Now, that's going to free up some space because I think I have less than 10 gigs free. And so when you run, you know, multiple pictures like this in in whatever resolution it's in, you know, it can add up, especially if you're doing video recordings. Like if I decide I want to do a video recording of those clouds, that's going to eat up memory. But it looks like I'm not missing out on the blood moon tonight. God, see, now you got me calling it a blood moon. So with that being said, I want to thank you all for watching. Does anybody have any questions before I bounce? That's some really cool weather maps. Yeah. The link. Here you go, Slim. Maybe I'll do a tutorial on it. I think I did a video about them a while ago. I'll do another one. On a bike trip buying cat food right now. Got pics. Ooh. Pics, so it didn't happen. I believe I seen a picture of El's bike. It's a nice bike. It's a Mama Chari, which if you watch Gundam, you'll know that a Mama Chari refers to Mama Char. That's the female Char. And I do want to thank everyone on Rumble who watched tonight. There we go. I clicked on my own like button in Rumble. And let me see if I can just find this here. I gotta use the lavatory anyway. All right. DJ Moon. How dare these clouds block the view of the so-called blood moon? I know, right? So like Greenland might vote to join the USA. Wow, I'm all for it, but I don't know what the truth is. Do they have an organic interest in becoming part of the union? Or is it a smaller group of people? You know, do they have another group? Do they have a counter group who doesn't want that? I'm all for it. I love the idea of taking on, adopting into statehood or, granting statehood to a nation that is 88% Greenland Inuit. That is cool. Like, that's the first time that we can have a native population become part of this country without the same shit that happened in the past. That being said, I also don't want, to just add, a state of people who are not interested in being part of this country, And I wouldn't want to put the IRS, I wouldn't want anybody to have to pay the IRS, you know what I mean? So it's like, every time you become an American citizen as a state, you're dealing with the IRS. Whereas at least in Guam, they're not dealing with the IRS, I believe, right? The Northern Mariana Islands, I don't think they're dealing with the IRS. So that's good. Those are the U.S. territories. Meloxicam time. The needs know that or major weather change both. Oh, interesting. Farewell, Slim. I'll catch you later. There's a large portion of, yes, exactly. Going home. Bet I get home first before you end. Okay, that's it. Challenge accepted. And that's the L laugh. Yeah. You heard the lady. You heard the young lady. I gotta end my stream now, or else I will lose the competition to end the stream before L gets home on a bicycle, no less. They aren't interested in being Danish. No, I don't think that most of them know. I don't think that's the thing. So that's the reason why the ones who do want to be American are interested, because they can't touch their mineral resources. Like the Danish are all like, "Oh, climate change is bad. You can't mine stuff," and they don't give a fuck. They're like, "Hey, you've been taking our shit for years. Now it's our turn to take our own crap." At least that's my interpretation. This is me paraphrasing it. Don't take my word for it. Investigate this yourself, and if you find out anything interesting, let me know. And you have a wonderful night, Stephanie Cruz. Bike Master L. I'm not the bike master? Oh, that's it. I'm getting on my bike. Let's see if I can ride my bike to California before L gets home. Okay, now jokes aside, though, I guess L's wearing headphones. Now I wear headphones on my bike too, right? I got these headphones here. So anyway, that being said, I want to thank Awesome One, Stephanie Cruz, James, LCX, James, Slim Nim, Awesome One. I know I just got to click on your name. Well, I don't have to click on every name. That's a funny face. And we had many people. We had Real Wade Nation Gaming Clips. We had Lady Mist. We had Blightwave Gamer. We had Third, Fourth, Second. He has a channel, We had many other people. We had Slim Nim, which is short for Slim Nim. And we had So Cruz 119. We had Lion Ratten on Rumble as well as on YouTube, I believe. We had a lot of great people here. We had Lorenzo Sleestack. We had this guy, which I already read their name. We had Salty Traveling Sea. We had Admiral Teague, Star Trek fan extraordinaire. Did I mention Lorenzo Sleestack? He was here too. And I think that about covers 90% of the people. Anyone whose name I left out, maybe I'll get you next week. But jokes aside, thank you all for tuning in. And that is true. We're all gonna die, and the sun has a viable outfit. So I'm really not worried about Don't even get me started, because I know where you're coming from. I know where you're coming from, man. But, I try to be balanced on the topic, but at the end of the day, it's like I see people getting bent out of shape. Like, I'll give you an example. I go to the Reddit page, and they think it's the end of the world, and they think that NOAA is going to be defunded. It's like, no. The part of NOAA that conducts bullshit research is going to be defunded. And see, now it's an opinion. It's not really a valid opinion. I don't know if it's a well-researched opinion. It's just that the main issue I have is that people talk about how us using electricity and all of this is contributing to climate change, and then you got the same people talking about how electric cars are good. And I mean, like, if you're charging them off the same grid, that seems to produce carbon, but the claim is that it produces less carbon than an internal combustion engine, so it's a net positive or net. Oh shit! I was back home. Oh, 1 kilometer. If I knew it was 1 kilometer, it's like a half a mile or something like that. I mean, it's not a half mile. I think it's like 0.8. But you got me. That is a short trip, 1 kilometer. Man, it must be nice living with kilometers. You know, you tell someone to walk a kilometer, it's like, okay. Tell someone to walk a mile, it's like, ugh. So anyway, but yeah, I'm not worried. I'm more worried about the bullshit. Like, in the name of solving it, the solutions that are put forth don't even seem like valid solutions or effective solutions. They seem like, I'm concerned, I don't know if this is accurate, I'm just saying, I am concerned that some of these solutions will do more harm than good. And that is the main, crux of where I'm coming from on that topic right now. And that 1 kilometer trip is 0.62 miles. Okay, that's the better part of a mile. You got me there. L wins. And with that being said, for anybody watching on the replay, I want to thank you for watching. If you have any questions, comments, ideas, or concerns, I'm looking for the button. Please leave a comment. And for now, the button is down here. And for now, we shall end transmission. And yes, that is true. It does seem like expensive virtue signaling. Basically, yeah, it does. And it's like, it doesn't solve the underlying issue. Like, maybe nuclear is not the only answer, but, there's ways that we can make it easier to do. I got so many thoughts on this. And I try to cage my words very carefully, so I don't fall into a trap of being, like, fact-checked and stuff. But you know where I'm coming from. We've been over this, I'm sure, and I hear you. I hear you, James. And ciao. Now, see, he's the most Italian person here, so he's allowed to say ciao. You sound like my uncle. My uncle says ciao. Anyway, jokes aside, ciao and good night, awesome one. And everybody else who hung out, thank you all for hanging out. Oh, we got to raid Aris. Shit. Let me get the link. I mean, you don't have to raid Aris, but you should raid Aris. So, raid my friend Aris. He's a good person. He doesn't talk geopolitics. He just plays video games, and he's a kind, cool person. He's got the handsomest VTuber ever. Look at that. Look at that shit. Look how handsome that is. That is a handsome VTuber character right there. And it's well clothed, and he floats a little bit, so he looks like he's breathing, and he's got like that joyful face there. It's a good VTuber character. It really is. But anyway, with that being said, yeah, link is dropped. I'm going to be going there right now because I'm already there. And for now, thank you all for watching, and we shall now officially hereby end transmission as soon as I hit